With a chill in the air for the first time this season, it feels like fall as we welcome you to historic Crocker Field here in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, as we get ready for Fitchburg High School football on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bolek. And Dan, as we get ready for action tonight, Fitchburg will be taking on the Rams of Shepherd Hill. The Red Raiders come in with a record of 0-2 on the season, having been outscored 88-6 in their first two games this year.
It's been a challenge to open the season for the Red Raiders, and they've been fighting two very formidable foes well above their weight class. In Week 1, we saw the Red Raiders fall here at historic Crocker Field 48-6 to Leominster. Last week, I saw them fall 40-0 to the Mountaineers of Wachusett up on the hilltop in Holden. And that was 40 first half points for Wachusett, 12 of 12 passing for Tucker McDonald, who's going to UConn. It was just a dominant performance for Wachusett. And now the Red Raiders looking to bounce back against a team that's a little more on their level.
A little more on their level in terms of one-loss record as well. The Rams of Shepherd Hill Regional High come in with a record also of 0-2. They have been outscored 61-14 on the young season.
Indeed, their opening week game, they were at Acton Boxborough taking on the newly christened Revolution.
You say you want them?
I wish I knew. I can't remember the rest of that line.
Well, you know.
I was never a huge Beatles guy.
Well.
But anyway, 34-0 was the score for Acton Boxborough taking that victory. And then week number 2, their first home game, but they found themselves a tasty meal.
Panthers eat ram meat.
Fell 27-14 to the Panthers of Marlborough. Touchdowns on the ground for Lucas Weldon and Joshua Harrison led to the lone scores for Shepherd Hill. So they're looking to bounce back as well. And they've got a fairly young roster, 10 seniors, 10 juniors for second-year head coach Dave Buchanan.
And Dan, you and I were talking a bit before the game, and I said something I might well come to regret, but I said, you know, this kind of reminds me of the way I felt going into the last game we called together, Fitchburg State taking on Worcester State. You've got a couple of schools here who come in off of big losses. Obviously, Fitchburg State was coming in with 1-1, Fitchburg High 0-2, but both of these schools coming in off of big losses, getting ready for their first division games of the season. It does kind of feel like an opportunity at a statement game for both of these teams.
Yeah, it feels like both of these teams haven't really had a chance to show what they can really do on the football field. And yeah, that's what we felt last week. After all, Worcester State had lost both of their games by large margins to teams that were a couple of tiers above them, if you will. And for Fitchburg High, it's sort of the same boat as Worcester State was in. They lost both of their opening games to teams that are in higher divisions. Leominster Division II, Wachusett's Division I, Fitchburg is Division III.
In addition to being a division higher, I can say just from having seen that Leominster victory and knowing what they did last week, Leominster looks to be a very, very good football team. So from the Fitchburg perspective, hopefully it will be a better showing for the Red Raiders tonight than it has been for the first two games of the season, or for that matter, Dan, than it has been in the last 7 straight times these schools have met. It's actually been a while since they met. Last meeting between these two teams was back in 2018, but Shepherd Hill's on a bit of a winning streak.
Indeed, in the 8 meetings that they met in the 2010s, from 2011 to 2018, Shepherd Hill posted a record of 7-1. The Red Raiders have not beaten Shepherd Hill since October 28th, 2011. That was a 30-14 win here at historic Crocker Field. That was the first of those 8 meetings, so it's been all Shepherd Hill since. It's going to be interesting to see how history holds up here tonight.
While we have a moment as the teams are down on the field getting ready for kickoff, we want to thank our underwriters, as we do for every broadcast. Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are underwritten by Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance Clinton Hospital, North End Subaru, Unitil, Minuteman Press, and the Sentinel and Enterprise. You see their names and logos on the screen there. Thank you so much to them for their support.
Indeed.
And we also want to mention, of course, that if you happen to know anyone in or around Dudley, or for that matter, anywhere else in this great world of ours who would like to watch this game online, they can do so, as you see on your screen, available in the Apple or Android app stores or on your Fire TV, Roku, or Apple TV devices. Plus, there's always good old-fashioned, I guess, fatv.org, and check out the education stream.
Indeed, we in fact had one of the coaches asking how people can watch this game, and we do not discriminate. We happily welcome visiting views.
Absolutely. That was Coach Giolino. We got a chance to talk with him as we were going over the Shepherd Hill roster. Danny, would you do me a great personal favor? Would you please entertain the people for the 2 to 3 minutes it's going to take me to find a light switch and turn the lights on in here? Because it's dark.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
You know, as we go into fall, the sun does set in the world, and the press box is a little dimmer than it was around this time a couple weeks ago when we were here for Fitchburg and Leominster. And so a little bit of light here in the press box we're going to try to figure out. But in the meanwhile, thinking about Fitchburg and what they need to do tonight, it's going to come down to how their offensive line plays. Against Wachusett and against Leominster, it definitely looked like the offensive line was a bit overmatched. Well, the challenges being they were not able to consistently create holes in the lines. They weren't able to spring Devani DeLeon for long runs. And last week against Wachusett, Luke Bolak was sacked 5 times, and he didn't really have much of a chance to do anything because that was how overwhelming Wachusett's offensive line was. In fact, Wachusett was able to hold Fitchburg to 0 first downs in the entire first half of last week's game.
That's not a lot of first downs.
It's not a lot. They finished, I think, with 3. It was
it was not good. By the way, for the folks at home, because I know you've been hanging with rapt attention, we found the light switch. It's brighter now. It's good.
It is much better now, and so just having a look ahead at what these two teams have on their schedules, Fitchburg, as we've talked about, has been scheduling a little more challenging this year. Opening against Leominster and Wachusett next week, they'll be at St. John's.
That's a toughie.
Taking on the Pioneer, 7 o'clock start from Shrewsbury. Then they'll have a 2-week homestand to kick off October. That will be the 7th and the 14th.
I'm so sad that I'm going to miss that 7th game.
Yep, John Gugerty will be going on assignment for the next few weeks, and so we will have some special guests filling in for the next couple of home games here at historic Crocker Field. Look forward to that. But homecoming against Marlborough on October the 7th.
Panthers eat Raider meat. Sorry, folks.
And, yep, so John's not going to have a chance to play the heel. And then on the 14th,
I'll text it or something.
the regular season finale against the Rangers of Westboro. The Red Raiders will finish the regular season at Neshoba, the Wolves, on the 21st, and then against the Highlanders of Doherty from Foley Stadium on the 28th. And Doherty having a bit of a struggle themselves. They're 0-2 and have not yet scored this season. They lost 42-0 to Leominster last week, and Leominster's got Neshoba this week.
Plus, of course, there's that rather important game on the 24th of November. It'll be Fitchburg and Leominster. You know, there's that one. That one's coming too.
From Doyle Field, 10 o'clock kickoff, and we'll have a couple of games in the middle of that. Whether they be playoff or consolation, we will find out as the season continues on.
Take a look at the other side of the equation for Shepherd Hill. They've got Leominster next week, Friday, September the 30th. They'll be hosting the Blue Devils. Then they travel to Algonquin and Wachusett before hosting Shrewsbury, Grafton, and Tantascwa. The classic Thanksgiving rivalry, Shepherd Hill versus Tantascwa.
Indeed, so Shepherd Hill, of course, that's Dudley and Charlton they serve. Communications, they have about 25,000 people amongst those two communities. Meanwhile, Tantascwa, 5 different communities, mainly Sturbridge, served there in the southwestern corner of Worcester County. A couple of communities in the neighboring county as well, such as Brimfield and Wales. But they've got a decent chunk of population down there as well. Shepherd Hill and Tantascwa, they are pretty close to each other, both in that sort of Bay Path regional district. That's right. For the trade school people.
Now, as we get set for coin toss, national anthems, all of that, the weather is going to play, I think, an interesting factor in tonight's game, Dan. Winds projected to get up to about 15 miles an hour. They were pretty blustery as I was walking into the stadium here, but they've kind of calmed down. We got a chance to speak a little bit with Fitchburg Athletic Director Craig Antossi before the game, and he was saying he thinks we're going to see a lot of the I formation out of the Red Raiders tonight.
May very much be a running game. After all, these two teams, besides seeing what they have in terms of quarterbacks, in terms of personnel, playing with the wind, it does seem like it's going to be going from the left side of the field to the right side of the field based on where the wind is forecasted to be coming from. And a breezy game could lead to, challenges in the passing game. And Fitchburg has had a couple of challenges in the passing game, as we mentioned the first couple weeks. It's been mainly because of the strong defense by Leominster and Wachusett. Luke Bolak on the season is 11 for 28 for 65 yards, a touchdown and a pick. And Josh Medina has the lead receiving there, 4 catches for 41 yards, and he had that touchdown back in the first drive of the season. The Raiders still looking for their next score.
Yeah, you may very well see a lot of Devani DeLeon, some Antonio Santiago, Raul Lizardo carrying the ball for the Red Raiders. Other side of the equation for the Rams, as you mentioned, probably see a good chunk of Lucas Welton, Joshua Harrison. Their quarterback's going to be the senior Luke Hill.
Yep. Hill is a senior, Harrison is a junior, Welton is a senior, and Shepherd Hill, they didn't return as much talent as I think they would have liked. They had a lot of seniors and impact players not returning, so just a handful of players who put up some offensive numbers. In fact, I think in terms of going over last season's stats, if you're looking for players with, receptions, with running yards, I really only counted 2 in Jaden Mello and Joshua Harrison. And Luke Miller is most likely the kicker. He had 15 extra points last season.
And there really aren't that many players just in general. There's quite the disparity in roster size between these two teams. We mentioned that we were talking with Coach Gelino before the game. The Rams, it looks like by my count, are only going to dress maybe 35 players. If that. They've got a handful of guys who are out with injury, and just their base roster is significantly smaller than that of Fitchburg High. You see the Red Raiders there in the, what is that, the brick and pewter we call it? That's right. The red jerseys with the gray helmets and pants.
Yep, and you'll see on our graphic, Shepherd Hill gets the gray color because their primary color is maroon. Very close to tell, so that way for your convenience, Fitchburg gets maroon on our colors because they're wearing maroon, or brick as we'll call it.
There we go.
And Shepherd Hill gets white because they're wearing white.
That's right. Shepherd Hill kind of looks like a little bit of a Notre Dame feel. The white jerseys, gold helmets and pants.
Yeah, when you have that in there, it's just the numbers, just the wrong shade of color. But other than that, everything else, though, I definitely agree, is the Red Raiders take the field.
Again, folks, it is a beautiful night for football here in Fitchburg. A little bit chilly, so if you want to come on down to historic Crocker Field, I would encourage you to, bring a jacket or a blanket, get yourself some hot cocoa. But if you're in Fitchburg and so able, absolutely come on down. Or if you are not inclined or out of the area, we are happy to provide coverage here on FATV. And again, go to fatv.org, the FATV apps available on your over-the-top devices as well. Plenty of ways to watch a fun night of football here from historic Crocker Field as the captains are heading out to midfield for the coin toss.
The captains for Shepherd Hill come in multiples of 3. That's 3, 6, and 9. Luke Miller, Luke Hill, and Joshua Harrison.
Other side for the Raiders, you've got Antonio Santiago, Luke Bolak, the starting quarterback, Joshua Medina, and Johnny L. Silvestri. 4 captains for the Red Raiders. See the referee there giving instructions at midfield, something to the effect of, you know the rules, play football well. I don't want to talk too much tonight, my throat hurts. It's cold, let's all go home early.
I'm just randomly reminded that discipline was not much of a problem the first 2 weeks for the Red Raiders.
Certainly with the penalty flags, we've seen a little bit of problems with personnel for Fitchburg, but not as much of an issue last week.
I've actually been told Devani DeLeon is not expected to play tonight either. So that's going to change up the personnel a little bit.
Should be a pretty big hit to the offense for the Raiders, but we will see.
Looks like Shepherd Hill's won the toss and they'll receive.
So we will see the Ram offense first on the field. Red Raiders, of course, will get the ball to start the second half then. Dan and I will step aside for the national anthem and be right back here at historic Crocker Field. It's Fitchburg High School football, and it's on FATV.
And the playing of our national anthem by the Fitchburg High School marching band.
Fitchburg High School football here on FATV from historic Crocker Field in downtown Fitchburg. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bolak. Dan, our first live performance of the national anthem. Always good to hear the Red Raider Marching Band.
Always good to hear them and what they can bring to the table.
While we have a moment before kickoff, we want to thank our crew. Our director tonight is Nate Glenny. Travis Falk is in the truck running audio and graphics for us as well. Andrew Govin and Joe Tchaikovsky will be your camera operators tonight. First game we've worked with Joe. Looking forward to working with him. Doing a good job so far. Red Raiders, again, will be kicking off to start the game. They'll go left to right in the first quarter, wearing the red and gray. Other side in the white jerseys and gold pants will be Shepherd Hill. And here with the play-by-play action for the first quarter is Mr. Dan Bolak.
So we'll see how the Red Raiders kick off. Shea Gagnor, we remember, opened that Leominster game with an onside kick. But I believe the one kickoff he had last week, he was able to kick it away for some distance. Gagnor will take his steps, only going to take a few, only going to be about a 4-yard run up.
Welton and Miller set back deep to return for the Rams.
Puts it on a squib at a line that's going to be taken in immediately by Ethan Barry, and he's not going to take any chances with that.
I'm a little surprised that Barry didn't try to get at least a little bit out of that. And he fielded that ball at the 41, and he picked it up pretty much immediately. He had 10 yards of grass in front of him. Didn't even take a step. Better safe than sorry, I suppose. Still really good field position for the Rams. They'll start 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. Ball spotted right between the hash marks.
And on first down, this is a very interesting formation from Shepherd Hill. Going with very much of a full house on the first down. It's Harrison who takes the snap, trying to go around the right side of the line. He's wrapped up pretty much immediately.
Not often you see a team go goal line 1st and 10 from their own 40, but that's basically what the Rams did. Josh Harrison, the junior, took the pitch. Almost a bit of a, well, I've heard a very problematic name for that play. Hide the tiny person.
And yeah, that's, again, going to that formation again. And, well, this is going to get more than... Looked like the Raiders jumped in my eyes, but could be the other way around.
If a Ram jumped, it was Thomas Souza.
Defense, 5 yards. Still 2nd down.
But it is offsides against the Red Raiders, so Fitchburg gifts Shepherd Hill a free 5 yards. Does that count as curse of the commentator, Dan? We were just talking about how Fitchburg hasn't been penalized that much this season.
We were. They haven't been caught offsides too much, but 5 free yards. Really, they spotted at the 46 when they didn't have it spotted at the 41 on the previous one. But regardless, on 2nd down, it's a run up the middle.
It's going to be very tough to identify ball carriers on these runs up the middle. I think that might have been Welton.
We'll take our best guess, but he's going to get it to the 49-yard line. Just have to get it to midfield for a 1st down. So again, in the not even thinking about passing formation, he'll take a snap. Quick handoff up the middle will be good enough for a 1st down. That looked like Drew Aubin, I think, had that carry. I think I saw 21.
That looks like, yes, indeed, it is 21, the junior Drew Aubin. So basically, the Rams are lining up with Aubin as a fullback, and they essentially have 4 tight ends on the field. Nobody split out wide, nobody even more than 2 yards in the backfield. But it's been fairly effective thus far for the Rams. They're able to get a 1st down.
If they feel like they can exploit the Red Raider D-line by just going heavy on the line.
And now they go shotgun.
Now they switch it up a little bit. Go shotgun, put a man in motion to the left side, and there'll be a handoff to Harrison, bounces off the line, then finds room on the left hash marks, up past the 40-yard line, down around the 36.
Stephen Bate ultimately made the tackle for the Red Raiders. Really good second effort there by Joshua Harrison. As you said, Dan, he was met right at the line of scrimmage. We'll take another look at this one. See, he runs right into the grasp of Joshua Alvarez, but then just as easily is able to run away from that grasp and get a really good gain. It'll be second and about 3.
Back into the run heavy one. It looks like they're just going to push the line forward as they get the handoff there. And a great run there on second down.
Officially, the ball carrier there was Harrison, but that was basically a rugby maul. And now Shepherd Hill thinks they've got the advantage. They go no huddle.
They do. And it's going to be Harrison trying to sneak through the line, this time staying on his feet, wrapped up at the 24-yard line.
That time they went back to the pitch to Harrison. Essentially they're having him come from the tight end position on the left side and then take a pitch going right up the middle. Now he's lined up as the right side tight end.
Now from the 24, roll out left side this time.
Flag comes in behind the play.
It was Wilton who had that carry.
During the play, we had holding on the offense, number 66, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, second down.
Brady Gelino guilty of the infraction. Sorry, Coach Gelino. Thank you again for your help with the pronunciations before the game. Let's see if we can take a look at this one. Gelino's going to be number 66. Can't really tell where the infraction happened, but you see the flag come in there after the play. Referee saw something we couldn't. He has better field position than we do, to be honest. After the 10-yard penalty, it'll be second down and about, let's call it 16 for the Rams. They need to get to the 19 for a first down.
Out to the left side again. Devin Rowden with the carry, freshman running back. Able to take it to the left side, found a little bit of room.
These Rams go very deep in the roster with ball carriers. We've already seen 4 already. Again, they've got essentially 4 tight ends, and 2 of them lined up basically in the backfield. And that time they had him come in motion, take the pitch.
From the 26-yard line, third down, 8 to go. Up the middle again trying to force that line forward. It's Aubin with the carry. He's down around the 20-yard line.
Probably 4 down territory here for the Rams, and that was a play call that was very much for that, just try to get about half of what they needed, and they do get that. Now Fitchburg High will take a timeout, just try to get a breather. This is a very interesting look, Dan. They've essentially got, they've got 4 tight ends, right? They've got one guy on either side of the line, right on the line of scrimmage, and then another tight end set about a step behind him on either side, and then a running back in the backfield essentially lined up where a fullback will be, right? And what it looks like, at least so far from Shepherd Hill, is the run's going in one of 3 places. It's either going to be a pitch to one of those tight ends, either up the middle or to the opposite side, or just a handoff to that fullback straight up the middle.
It's a very different, very interesting looking formation.
It's a very interesting look, as you said, from Shepherd Hill. And one, I would say, incidentally, that it's also well tailored to what looks like the increasing wind conditions here at historic Crocker Field.
So as we mentioned, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to throw the ball with how windy it is, but in this case...
I swear, folks, that flag was straight out 9 seconds ago, I promise.
So 4th down, 2 to go, and going through the middle of the line, it is going to be Rowden. I think he's going to have enough.
They're spotting him at about the 16, and yeah, they're going to indicate stop the clock, move the chains. Shepherd Hill wants to hurry up. The sticks aren't ready, but the guys on the field are.
So, and now quickly back to action, run up the middle. Ball is loose on the ground. The run taken there by Luke Miller may have lost the handle on it.
Both teams indicating they have the football, and the Raiders have it. Stephen Bate comes out of the pile with the pigskin. There's a flag on the field, however. I think I saw the official indicating that that would be waved off. But we'll see. A huge swing there. Shepherd Hill had been marching downfield, moving the ball very efficiently. but one turnover, and that's the problem with that run-heavy, kind of cluster-heavy offense. You keep pounding it in there 4, 5, 6 yards at a time. We'll take another look at it again here. Again, it's Luke Miller taking that pitch, and he tries to cut up the middle. Good field vision there, but it's a tremendous hit by Joshua Nardi, lowering his helmet, spearing at the football. I think that's why the flag came in.
Now first down. Cover me on this one.
Johnny El Silvestri got the carry for the Red Raiders. Didn't get much of anything. Lucas Welton came in, made the hit for the Rams. But real quick, Dan, on that fumble once again, actually we'll take a look at the first down play one more time. Welton's in there along with Devin Rowden. I think the flag was thrown because Nardi led with his head, and you can't do that unless you get the ball. And because he got the ball, it was picked up.
So second down, Bolak going to run with himself to the far side, numbers 20, 30, 40. He's on his way. Midfield, 40, 30. Can they catch him? They will not. Touchdown, Red Raiders. "85 yards, Luke Bolak from coast to coast puts the Raiders on the board with 7:01 to go in the first.
This play was almost blown up in the backfield. Bolak right there, he puts the moves to Kyle LeBlanc, and then he gets tremendous downfield blocking. The receivers set the edge, and he is off to the races. It's a foot race, Bolak and Harrison. Bolak cuts upfield, and he gets in 85 yards, and now Raiders are going for 2.
Flag on everything that's happened there.
So before the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, retry.
So the Raiders lined up in the traditional extra point formation, but it was a fake. The holder, who I believe is Mateo Rivera, took the snap and then got up as though he was looking to throw to his left, but the officials threw flags and blew the play dead.
So they'll try from the 8-yard line after the false start.
And now probably have Gagne attempt the extra point, but we'll see. They might send the offense on the field, actually. Bolak's back out there. I think they're going to go for 2 here, Dan.
I think we saw Shea Gagne's extra point attempt last week, 2 weeks ago against Leominster was less than ideal.
Didn't go well.
They may think he might not have the leg for 25, so they're going to go for 2. With the I formation, they go with the fullback dive. And the Rugby Mall's not going to win this battle. Phillips is stuffed right at the line. 2-point conversion's no good. 6-0 Red Raiders.
I'm sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just want to relay facts that I just saw. You score an 86-yard touchdown run on a shotgun quarterback keeper. And then after a false start on the extra point attempt, your 2-point conversion play from the 7-yard line is a fullback dive. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Listen, I have said this a great many times, and I shall say it a great many more times. There is a reason that I am up here in the booth yakking about stuff and not down there on the football field coaching a football game. However, I would not call a fullback dive on a 2-point conversion from the 7-yard line. Maybe a controversial opinion. Bit of a hot take. But hey, Raiders have the lead, 6-0. We get to hear Mr. Touchdown for the first time this season. Was a very impressive run by that man there, your cousin Luke. Distant cousin, but cousin.
Yeah, we can actually say that with certainty now.
That's right.
It's Gagne again, looking about maybe a 4-step run up as well. Takes a big bounce. It's going to make its way past the 2 returners inside the 10-yard line, picked up at the 8. It is taken eventually by Rowdy, and he's wrapped up inside the 10. Rowden had to pick that up and do something with it, as that ball was very much a hot potato.
That was probably the best possible outcome, aside from an actual turnover, of the squib kick. It takes a perfect bounce for the Red Raiders, goes all the way downfield, and is then just plain missed by the returners. See, once again, it gets right there and it just splits the two return men. Neither one of them knew which way to take it. Had to take it running toward his own goal line and then try to make something of it. Now Shepherd Hill is backed up deep and they're running into each other.
Penalties right on the snap. They wanted to hand it off to Harrison.
Before the snap, offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Actually, they call that against the Red Raiders. So another 5 free yards for Shepherd Hill.
Second offside against the Red Raiders. And again, the very heavy formation on 1st and 10. They do give it to Harrison. Harrison able to turn around and move his way forward for 3 yards after it looked like he was going to be wrapped up in the backfield.
Harrison running behind the pulling block of number 77, Charles Karp. Take another look at it again. Good second effort. Once again, just keeps his legs churning. Could have been a gain of just a yard or two. Instead, it turned into 4. Make it 2nd down and 1 for the Rams.
Rams still going heavy, trying to push it up the middle. And this time, the Red Raider line able to repel the Hills, the Rams, backwards.
I like the Hills.
It was Aubin with the carry on that one.
You got Hank and Peggy and Bobby. only needed to get a yard to move the chains, though, so it is 1st and 10 now for Shepherd Hill.
They were able to get to the 21-yard line. So they'll refresh the downs, make it 1st and 10. And what have we got now?
False start.
Before the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Pretty sure that was the left guard, Nicholas Del Ovo, who committed the infraction.
Backs him back up to the 16-yard line now.
You know, Dan, as hard as it was to tell who was positioned where for Shepherd Hill when they were on the left side of the field, it's even harder on the right because now we can't even see the numbers on the back of the jerseys.
No TV numbers for these Rams. Visitors from Dudley and Charlton making their way up Route 31. It's going to be a delayed handoff to Welton up the middle, and he's able to get to the 26-yard line.
A little bit of additional mix-up there by Shepherd Hill. This time they faked the pitch to the tight end coming through the backfield and then handed it off. See right there, they fake the pitch to Harrison and then wind up giving it to Welton. He gets all the yardage that was lost back, plus a bunch more. It'll be 2nd and 4 now for Shepherd Hill.
11-yard gain. And Shepherd Hill's up to 69 rushing yards on 13 plays.
That's pretty nice.
Harrison out to the far side, found some room, and finally wrapped up there. See 2 Raiders coming in on that tackle. Stephen Bate, one of them, Isaiah Jeffries, the other.
But it's enough for another Shepherd Hill first down. Even with the penalty, Dan, these Rams are proving very difficult to stop.
Their one drive ended in a fumble inside the Raider red zone to boot.
The only team that's managed to stop Shepherd Hill is, in fact, Shepherd Hill.
1st and 10. And now Aubin on the carry, found some room on the far hash marks. Wrapped up by Jeffries. Now that was actually, I think that was Luke Miller who had the carry there, number 3.
Couldn't tell. I thought it was Aubin as well. I also thought maybe they pitched it and then there was a handoff, but I think they just faked the pitch.
Sure looked like number 3 got up with the football at the end of that, and I went with Aubin because I think everybody else thought it was Aubin.
There you go.
So this time it's a pitch out to Jaden Mello, went around the left side of the line and forward for another first down into Red Raider territory. They'll drop the ball right at the 40, in between the 47 and 46.
So again, he's lined up as the second of the 2 tight ends, just a step in the backfield, takes the pitch and runs straight up the middle. It's not actually any slower developing than if he was lined up as the tailback in the I formation. But there's a little bit more variety, a little more unpredictability to it.
Shepherd Hill continues with a 4 tight end one running back formation, and this time it's Weldon. Left side, found a big opening, dancing on the sideline, gets to about the 27-yard line before he steps out of bounds.
And folks at home, you had a really good look at the way that formation is just because of where Shepherd Hill was. You know, you see we're lined up pretty much right at the line of scrimmage. It's very hard to tell for Fitchburg who's going to be getting the ball. And now we get another timeout. Again called by the Red Raiders. Again, Dan, probably just trying to catch their breath. Shepherd Hill knows they have the Raiders on the back foot. So they wanted to push the advantage, and Fitchburg was ultimately like, you know what? No. Just no. Hold on.
Give us a moment or four. Raiders will call time with 3:05 to go in the first quarter. 6-0 Raiders in front on an 85-yard touchdown run by Luke Bolak. Let's see if we can find some out-of-town scores.
Absolutely.
Now,
sounds like a noble pursuit.
Yep, now to do that, I've got to open up my web browser here on my phone.
Well.
And then I've got to navigate to where my main source is for these.
I see. I could tell you how the Red Sox are doing, but honestly, I don't care. So there's that. They're bad, probably.
Right, I want to see definitely what Leominster and Neshoba are up to right now. It is at 1/4 time. It's 7-0 Leominster in front of Neshoba.
Well, Leominster's good, so that does make sense. You see Shepherd Hill already at the line of scrimmage. They are ready to go.
They are ready. They're waiting on everybody else. 1st and 10. It's going to be Weldon to the left side. It's about 5 yards. Wrapped up by Phillips for the Red Raiders.
Wind again picking up. Not that we've, actually we have not seen Shepherd Hill go to the air once. So.
Shepherd Hill with 7 first downs and 120 rushing yards right now. No passes currently attempted. We approach 2.5 to go in the first quarter. Run up the middle. It's going to be Aubin who has this one. He's going to be stopped around the 20-yard line.
Call it 3rd down and about 4 coming up now for Shepherd Hill. Right around the area of the field where they coughed it up last time. I think it was, what, just inside? Yeah, it was just inside the 15 because it was, after all, an 86-yard. 86 or 85 officially?
I punched 85 in, but again, everybody runs so quick. And now this time Hill pulling back out to throw. He's got a man wide open, and he's going to find that wide open man for a touchdown, Ethan Berry.
They finally go to the air on 3rd down, do the Rams. And they come up big. Fitchburg bit so hard on the play fake. Ethan Berry was wide open. All Hill had to do was deliver the football, and he delivered a strike. Now it looks like Luke Miller on to attempt the extra point for Shepherd Hill.
Miller with 15 extra points made last season. This kick is up, and this kick is through. 1:55 to go in the first quarter, and the Rams have the lead at 7-6.
Remember, the Raiders failed to convert a 2-point conversion after their touchdown. So that extra point gives Shepherd Hill the lead. We'll take another look at the touchdown. You see, once again, they fake the pitch to Rowden, and then Hill just takes 2 steps back, sets up, and chucks it deep. And wide open is Ethan Berry for the touchdown.
They were so committed to the run there that it was just, it looked like all Rams and by binoculars. It was just a matter, you've just got to find your target. And he had a couple of targets to find in Luke Hill.
He had 2 receivers open. They were not running very dissimilar routes. But it was Berry who made the catch, and he took it in for the touchdown. So we'll see the Raider offense again, presumably for more than 2 plays. But first, the kickoff return. It'll be Medina and Malachi Marion set back to return for Fitchburg. Worth noting that the Rams will be kicking into the wind here. It's picked up a little bit. So you expect this to be a fairly short kick.
Again, Luke Miller, the senior, running back, defensive back, and kicker. He'll look to boot this one away. They do respect the leg because they've got the return man all the way down in the end zone. It's not going to get nearly that far. It'll be picked up, in fact, at the 30-yard line by Johnny L. Silvestri. He's trying to duck out of a lot of tackles, but 2 Rams there to wrap him up. Robin is one of them. The other one is number 2, who is Raymond Luxury Yatched.
Is that the new Ed Reynolds officially?
That's been my Ed Reynolds for like 12 years.
You know the benefit of Ed Reynolds is that it's easy to say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Raymond Luxury Yatched, we can do that.
But to the 35-yard line, and so shorter field this time for the Red Raiders with 1:48 to go in the first quarter of play. And Bolak able to take it, throw, intercepted, picked off. It's Joshua Harrison for a pick 6. Well, that's turned on a dime, hasn't it?
You know, Dan, somebody, some stupid man who shall remain nameless, said before this possession that we would see the Raider offense for more than 2 plays. That person was wrong. That person was incorrect.
Just a quick throw to the right side, and
it all started with the bad snap. You know, through Bolak's hands, he had to scramble just to get the throw off. Looked for a second as though he had done a great job of just scrambling out of the pocket and getting rid of the pass. But as it turned out, the pass was behind his receiver, and Joshua Harrison was right there. Had only the quarterback to beat.
Just things going from bad to worse on that. I was slow to it. I didn't even have a chance to see the bad snap before the whole calamity happened. And just like that, Shepherd Hill now leads 14-6. And, you know, they've been so run heavy, and yet their 2 touchdowns come on a pass and a pick 6.
Yeah. The only 2 passes that have been thrown in this game have been Shepherd Hill touchdowns. That's it's an interesting streak for the Fitchburg fans, and you know we're in Fitchburg on Fitchburg Access Television, etc., etc., etc. For the Fitchburg fans, you would hope that streak ends, but also it's kind of cool. It's interesting.
Miller a kickoff again for the Rams.
Raiders have brought their returners a little further upfield, but still that big empty void behind the 25.
See where this ball goes. We've taken in right on a line by Silvestri, and he's going to get the same result as he got last time. Picked it up at the 30, brought it to the 35, wrapped up by 2 Rams.
Pretty decent field position once again for Fitchburg. Silvestri got hit hard as he was brought down, but he'll stay out as part of the offense.
And now Shepherd Hill would like it if this play from scrimmage for the Red Raiders resulted the same result as last time, but for now, it's deja vu. We'll see for how long. From the Raider 35-yard line, 1st and 10 with 1:32 to go in the first quarter and a 14-6 lead for the visitors from Dudley and Charlton. Give him the 34 instead. One in the backfield is Silvestri. Bolak will look to run with it. It seems like a safe option with everything, all things considered. Makes it to the 38-yard line before finally being pushed out of bounds.
Bolak was driven hard after the play by Ethan Berry. Thought for a second we might see a yellow handkerchief, but no. Officials say he was making the tackle. Pretty sure this was a designed quarterback keeper all the way, using Silvestri as a lead blocker. Bolak was able to turn the corner a little bit, get upfield. He picked up about 5 yards.
With Devani DeLeon out of the game for the Red Raiders, Bolak is basically the best running option that they have. He's out of the shotgun here on 2nd and 5. It'll be a handoff to Marion on the left side, but he's wrapped up immediately. He's only going to be able to get about a yard or so.
Interesting, Dan, the Raiders are going with a couple of guys listed as wide receivers as their primary ball carriers. We've seen Johnny L. Silvestri in the backfield on their first few plays. This time it's Malachi Marion. They do have, a couple of junior running backs in Antonio Santiago and Raul Luzardo. But Greg Graham obviously feels that Silvestri and Marion give his offense the best chance.
They go 4 receivers here on 3rd down. Good enough snap, throw, near side, and Medina cannot haul that in. Just a bit underthrown. He goes for the diving catch and cannot haul it in. Brings up 4th down.
Medina had to come back for the ball just a little bit, Dan. I think Bolak had a bit of trouble with the snap. You'll see right there, it's a decent enough snap. He almost drops it. And then his pass, I mean, honestly, that's a catchable ball. Like, I don't know if Medina lost his footing or what, but that ball wound up hitting him in the numbers, and it still found the turf.
It'll be Johnny L. Silvestri into punt. Raiders do get that extra guy on the field that they didn't have, so maybe that is still a problem. It was Gagne, the extra man who comes out, and that's a bad snap or a bad reception by Silvestri. He's able to pick it up. He's going to chuck it downfield. He's going to find Malachi Marion! And he's going to be tackled at the Rams' 20-yard line.
Okay, I think the pass was designed. I don't think dropping the snap was in the plan, but hey, you know, it worked. Take another look at this one. It's a good snap. It's a little off to Silvestri's right. That can't be the plan, but obviously he does a great job selling the fake, running up with it, looking like he's going to deliver the rugby-style punt. It gives Malachi Marion enough time to slip the coverage, get deep downfield. We finally have a pass in this game that doesn't go for a Shepherd Hill touchdown, and it's thrown by Johnny L. Silvestri.
Well, this has been a first quarter.
Yeah, I would say so. Wow. So the Raiders get a big chunk play, go all the way downfield, and then they have to turn around and come right back where they were because it's the end of the quarter and we're switching sides.
Although the Raiders trail by 8 at 1/4 time, 14-6, at least they've still got the ball.
They've still got the ball. They got a big play on the fake punt. Offense now with a chance to get into the end zone, maybe tie this game up. On the defensive side of the ball, Dan, Fitchburg's got to find a way to contain that ground game from Shepherd Hill. That 4 tight end look is really impressive. The Rams have been able to do a lot of great things from it. So for the Fitchburg defense, plenty of work still to do. But the offense has the ball as we get ready for quarter number 2.
That was a 43-yard catch and run there. Johnny L. Silvestri to Malachi Marion.
Second quarter of play from historic Crocker Field. Fitchburg comes out in the I formation. Handoff goes to the right side. Gain of about 4 there.
It was Harvey Early, it looks like, who had the carry.
Senior listed as a tight end got the carry there.
Positions are suggestions right now.
That's true. It's high school football. Everybody plays everywhere. Second down and 6 for the Raiders. They're at the 10, so they can get a first down without scoring. I formation once again, early in the backfield. Play fake. Bolak rolls to his right, going to keep it himself. He slides to about the 5-yard line. Going to be very close to the line to gain. Officials say stop the clock, drop the sticks. It'll be 1st and goal, Fitchburg.
As mentioned, cannot underestimate how dangerous Luke Bolak can be running the football.
Probably the most dangerous Fitchburg ball carrier is their quarterback, Luke Bolak. Now they'll bring Stephen Bate in, send early to the sideline. Bolak gets the play from his head coach, Greg Graham. He'll run it into the huddle. 1st and goal, Red Raiders. Ball spotted right at the 5-yard line. I formation for the Red Raiders. Bate is the tailback. He gets the pitch running to his left, loses the football. Now picks it up himself. He reverses field, trying to make something happen out of it. Finally brought down at about the 10-yard line. My apologies, that's Doharian Wells, the ball carrier. Wells wound up only losing about 4 yards on what was nearly a disaster play for Fitchburg, Dan.
Wells just pitched it out, and yeah, challenging there for Wells, not able. Yeah, it seems like handling the football has been really hard tonight.
The pitch was very far behind Wells. He was a good 2 steps ahead of it. I don't know if that's just Bolak didn't know where he was going to be, You know, obviously you rotate a lot of guys into the backfield here. It's going to create mix-ups like that. Now Harvey early back in as the tailback. He'll get the carry on 2nd and goal, looking for a hole, bounces out to his left side, tries to thrust a man down, but is ultimately tackled. That was Josh Harrison, who did a good job. He's not just a utility player for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's also a darn good tackler, if I do say so myself. See there early trying to shove Harrison out of the way, but Harrison just good fundamental tackling brought him down. Wound up maybe a gain of a yard. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 6. Got to think this is 4-down territory for the Red Raiders, Dan.
Does feel like the kicking game isn't quite there, so 2 shots to get 6 yards.
I formation for Fitchburg. Play fake. Bolak throws to the end zone. Pass is dropped. Incomplete. Looked for a second like it was going to be intercepted. There was no Raider in the area until Shea Gagnor came in. Ball wound up hitting Gagnor in the hands, but fell to the turf incomplete.
Looked like nearly picking that off was Caden Murata. It looked like a couple of Rams really had a good read on that ball.
And you see the pass there thrown basically between the 2 Raider receivers. Now Fitchburg has taken their final timeout of the first half here with 9:19 to play in the 2nd quarter. So folks, you do see the timeout indicators on your screen. Those are incorrect. Fitchburg has used all 3 of their timeouts. They have none remaining. Shepherd Hill still has their full complement.
It does feel like Bolak has not been the most comfortable in passing the football in tonight's contest. He's 0 for 3 right now. You had the interception, the pick 6, then you had a ball that was underthrown with a bad snap kind of compounding that, and then that last one was one of those balls that with a stronger play by a defensive back could have been picked off as well.
Very well could have been intercepted. So again, the Raiders take their last time out here, 9:19 to play in the 2nd quarter. They face 4th and goal from the 6-yard line.
The positive of going forward is if you don't convert here on 4th down, you do pin Shepherd Hill deep in their own territory.
Given what we've seen from Fitchburg's kicking game, you know, the fact that they went for 2, you know, they faked an extra point on their first attempt and then went for 2. I don't think Greg Graham has any faith in his kicking game right now, so we will see the offense back on the field for Fitchburg. Looks like early in the backfield, and is that number 0, Dan?
That's Johnny El Silvestri.
It's Silvestri, number 8. So Silvestri is the tailback, 4th and goal for the Raiders. Bolak keeps it himself, rolls to his right, throws for the end zone, pass is caught. Was he down? Yes! Touchdown, Red Raiders!
Joshua Medina on the right boundary, able to keep his feet in bounds and pull that one in. Raiders a 2-point conversion away from tying it.
This time they go with the play fake. Bolak rolls to his right. Good decision to throw, and a great job by Medina getting not one but both of his feet down in bounds to make the catch. And now Fitchburg wants to kick the extra point, but they don't have a holder. Mateo Rivera hurrying out onto the field. Gagnor's got to hustle to get set up. Snap is down. Gagnor's kick is up, and it is good. So with all of the confusion that happened on their first couple of extra points, not getting a holder out until the final moment here, Gagnor just walks up and boots the best kick we've seen out of him.
Yeah, so he could have hit that from 25.
He could have. Take another look at the extra point as Mr. Touchdown winds down here from historic Crocker Field. See Rivera hustled out basically right as the play clock was dying, and then Gagnor just calmly walked up and booted it through. Fitchburg's been very hesitant to kick the extra points, Dan. Yeah, I think Gagnor's got that. Maybe not consistently, but he definitely has the potential.
He has the ability. It's just a matter of execution.
Now we'll see the kickoff. Always interesting, these kickoffs in Fitchburg, especially this season. Gagnor gives that one a boot. Picked up on the run at about the 15-yard line. Plenty of blocking in front of him into the second level. Finally brought down at about the 42-yard line was Lucas Welton. Good field position for the Rams as they get ready for their first possession of the second quarter. Spotted at about the 45 for the Rams. And they'll go once again with the heavy set. This time 4 tight ends, one in the backfield is Drew Aubin. Pitch comes to Welton, but whistles and flags kill the play.
Before the snap, illegal substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Illegal substitution called against the Red Raiders. Fitchburg coming up with new and innovative ways to hand yardage. 2, 3, 4. Couldn't tell if they had too many guys on the field or what, but something to that effect. Give Shepherd Hill 15 free feet.
So we're going to have to look in the guide. It's like, okay, how do you code this? Because I don't know what the IS wasn't good enough for them. They wanted ISU, and that's
Play
a fumble.
fake, ball's on the ground, and it is fallen on by Shepherd Hill. So this time Shepherd Hill tries faking the pitch, and then they wanted to hand it to the other tight end coming on a sweep. But there was trouble on the exchange there. Raiders got into the backfield, blew the play up. Rams were fortunate to fall on it. Take a look again. See there, it's broken up very quickly. Believe that was Nathan Hankins, D lineman for the Raiders. Back to live action now. Welton the carry. He's got a big gainer into Red Raider territory. Steps out of bounds at about the Fitchburg 37-yard line. Stop the clock, move the chains. Shepherd Hill's got another first down.
It's 21 yards just like that on a 2nd and long. And Welton's looked pretty good running the football, especially when he can get some space to work with. Well, now up to 61 yards of rushing on 5 carries.
He'll head to the sideline for a breather. Pitch on first down comes to the near side. Great blocking by this Shepherd Hill offensive line. Not hit until deep into Raider territory. It's a gain of about 7. Take another look at it again. This time it's Devin Rowden, the ball carrier.
Takes 3-4 Raiders to wrap him up right at the edge of the 2nd level. 6 yards gained on first down.
Rowden will line up as the left side tight end. This time Shepherd Hill does have a man deep in the backfield, and they also have a man committing a false start. I believe that's going to be Andrew Martinez, guilty of the infraction. But we'll see. Maybe Fitchburg jumped.
They are discussing about it. I know the official on the far side thought it was a jump by Fitchburg.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
But they will ultimately call false start against Shepherd Hill. Take a look at it again. I believe it's the right side tight end Martinez who jumps. You see right there, he takes a step. The right tackle jumps back as well.
The timing was tremendously close. I can see why one might think it might be offsides. But it looks like it was Shepherd Hill jumping just a split second earlier.
2nd down and 8. Handoff goes up the middle. Gain of about maybe 5 there.
There's Welton with the run that time. Gets back the yards lost on the false start.
Jared Phillips, the senior linebacker, made the tackle for Fitchburg. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 for Shepherd Hill.
Well, now 6 carries for 66 yards, plain demonic running from him.
Jared Mello, I believe, is the ball carrier now. He's into the 2nd level. Great blocking for him. He's not going to be brought down until the 20-yard line. So another big gain for Mello moves the chains for the Rams. See Mello lined up on the right side there. Following his blockers, he's got great pull blocking from James Robson, the 5th. Not brought down until he gets to the 20.
11 yards gained by Jaden Mello. the junior running back who has one of the few Rams who had statistical experience from last year.
Welton gets the carry on first down, still on his feet, reverses field, he's to the 10-5, can he make it to the goal line? Yes! Touchdown, Shepherd Hill! Lucas Welton with the 20-yard scamper.
Well, I said his running was just demonic, so was that cut there to get himself the space he needed, and he found the line, just cut a diagonal right to the near side pylon for 6.
See Welton lined up as the right side tight end, following blocks up the middle. Great second effort there, and then he just spots the open field, reverses direction, and he's faster than anybody wearing red. He gets to the pylon, he's in. Now Shepherd Hill's going to fake the extra point, go for 2. Pass to the end zone is intercepted. And I believe, yes, the officials will kill the play right there. No chance for a return. So Shepherd Hill goes for 2, try to make it a 2-score game. Instead, Fitchburg's defense holds, and now they're only down by 7. This is a very interesting way to get to 20-13, Dan.
It is, but that'll make up for the 2-point conversion not going for the Red Raiders. Yeah, 6:42 to go here in this first half. 20-13, Shepherd Hill in front. Yeah, this has been interesting.
Fitchburg's defense simply cannot stop Shepherd Hill right now. The Rams offense has been moving the ball downfield. I think they went shotgun once and it didn't work for them, but that big heavy set has been fantastic for Shepherd Hill. They have so many things they can do from it.
That's 177 rushing yards on 25 carries for the Rams, 11 first downs. They're averaging, shade over 7 yards a carry right now.
I was going to say, Dan, for a team that keeps it on the ground this much, I would almost expect that more time would have gone by. It feels like this has been a long time in, real time for a game to be 6:42 in the second quarter. But Shepherd Hill's just getting so many first downs. Stop the clock after almost every other play for them. It's not, it's not grinding the clock as much as you might expect from an entirely ground-based offense.
11 first downs for the Rams. Only 1 pass attempt, which worked out pretty well for them too.
Miller's kick is away. It's short, bouncing to the near side, picked up by Medina at the 22, and he is going to be spun down pretty much immediately. Devin Rowden and Caden Murata in on the hit there. Dan, there was another Raider about 10 yards upfield from Medina who had a chance to field that ball, and he just kind of let it go. We'll take another look at it here.
Yep, got out of the way of it. I guess he was afraid of it going off his legs and then booting forward. That would have been far worse.
And that was Johnny El Silvestri. He's had a couple kickoff returns already in this game. That time he leapt over it, let Medina take it. Didn't work out for the best for Fitchburg.
And there would have been the possibility Medina could have tried to step out of bounds and grab the football, but I think with Shepherd Hill closing in that quickly, it wasn't worth trying to take the gamble for the gamesmanship. We saw that play last week in the Fitchburg-Worcester game.
Shotgun 4 wide for the Raiders. Players having a little bit of confusion. Fitchburg has no timeouts. They've got to get this done, or they've got to commit a false start and give up 5 yards.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
There were multiple receivers there, Dan, who seemingly had no idea what the play call was. Saw a lot of, outstretched arms and confused expressions on the red and gray.
That is the 5th penalty against Fitchburg tonight. Had 8 penalties in this contest, a hold in 7 5-yard penalties.
This 5-yarder will make it 1st and 15 for the Berg. They're at their own 15. Motion to the far side, and taking the handoff is Doharian Wells. He's got blockers in front of him. Across the original line of scrimmage, and a little bit more than that. Call it a gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down and about 7 for Fitchburg. After the carry by Doharian Wells, we'll take a look at it again.
Just takes it on the reverse, the end around, and gets a good chunk. Gets all the yardage back, lost to the false start, plus 4 more. Give him 9. It'll be 2nd and 6. As we reach the halfway point of this second quarter.
Good carry there by Wells, the senior listed as a receiver. Fitchburg still does not have a carry by a man listed as a running back on your roster, which is interesting, I suppose. Again, plenty of action before the snap. Silvestri in the backfield. This time Bolak does hand it off. This is Medina, the ball carrier. Try to reverse the play from the previous one, and that doesn't go anywhere. Ethan Barry makes the tackle, and they actually lose a yard.
It was about getting the ball to Medina, but not just that, him just having to get away from Ethan Barry and wasn't able to get away from him.
Barry just, that time it was Wells trying to block him, and Barry just shoved him out of the way, made the tackle himself. So it worked all right on first down going to the right, not so well on second going to the left. Now 3rd down and 7 for Fitchburg. And it'll be 3rd and 12 after Medina commits the false start.
Before the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Fitchburg may have taken more penalties in this first half than they did in the first 2 games combined at this pace.
That seems entirely possible.
6 penalties for 30 yards against the Red Raiders. Some offsides, a couple of false starts, that illegal substitution.
Now it'll be 3rd and 12 for Fitchburg. Worth noting that the Raiders will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, but obviously they don't want to give it away to Shepherd Hill now. Silvestri goes in motion to the far side. Now they send Wells in motion, fake the sweep to him. Bolak wants to keep it. He'll throw out to the right side. Pass is caught by Medina. He's across the 30. He's got a first down. Finally driven out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. Josh Medina with a nice little catch and run gives the Red Raider offense a first down.
Felt like the Raiders definitely had to throw there on 3rd and 12. And as you can see with the misdirection, fake the handoff to Wells, and Bolak's able to buy enough time to find Medina, who's wide open, standing right at the line to gain. He's able to make that catch, take a step inside, and then get those extra yards, 7 of them in fact, end up at the 37-yard line, and it's a fresh set of downs for the Red and Gray.
We dug under 4 minutes to play here in the 2nd quarter. Fitchburg, no need to hurry, although they are out of timeouts. Medina comes in motion, fake the carry to him. Bolak will keep it himself, looking to get blocks to the left. He's got those blocks, and he is spun down just inside Ram territory. Stop the clock, move the chains. It's another Fitchburg first down, this time at the Shepherd Hill 49.
That'll put Bolak up to over 100 rushing yards on the night. 110 to be exact, as he gets 15 yards on the keeper to the near side.
It's been the quarterback, it's been the wide receivers, it's been sweeps. Not a traditional run game for Fitchburg, but it has been effective. 4 wide for the Raiders. This time it's a handoff to Marion, going right up the middle. Pretty good blocking for him. He gets about 4 yards and mark him down at the Shepherd Hill 45. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Rushing yards now are just about equal, 197, actually offensive yards, 197 for Shepherd Hill, 198 for Fitchburg.
Ethan Barry made the tackle again for the Rams. Fitchburg likes that 4 wide set. They go with it once again here on 2nd and 6. A little surprised they didn't call false start there. Bolak deep over the middle. Pass is swatted down, was into double coverage, and Josh Harrison got his hands on it, and it hit the turf.
In the Battle of Joshua's Harrison versus Medina, Harrison ended up the winner there, but that was something in which the Rams had definitely committed to the pass. That was great blocking by the Red Raiders to give Bolak the time to throw. That's about as much time as he's had all night, really, to get a throw off. Found his intended target. Really, you could even call it quadruple coverage with how the Rams were converging.
Yeah, Shepherd Hill only rushed 3 on that play. Dropped everybody back. Pass fell incomplete. Now they show pressure on 3rd down. Bolak looks to his play sheet. Looks over to his coach. Calling out signals. Fitchburg needs the 39 for a first down. They're at the 45. Now Marion goes in motion. He'll set up to the left, and he'll get the carry. Not much there. He's across the 45, but brought down after a gain of maybe a yard. He ran right into big 77, Charles Karp, the senior. Led the Rams in tackles among returning players from last season. And now Shepherd Hill will call their first timeout of the half, as their offense is probably set to get the ball back.
Considering the last play in which Shepherd Hill only rushed 3, they're probably thinking maybe Shepherd Hill would read the pass again, but this time Shepherd Hill was willing to put up more men at the offensive line, and the Raiders not able to create any holes. Thus Marion not able to get much of a gain there on 3rd and 6, and now 4th and 6 it'll be. They've got to get to the 39 for a first.
Given the play call, Dan, I think the Raiders may have been willing to go for it, and for all I know, they're still going to go for it. But I think they would have been willing to go for it if they had gotten a few more yards on 3rd. But because they were basically stopped, they'll send out Silvestri in the punting unit. Of course, they did fake a punt earlier, so hey, for that matter, Bolak's coming out as well. Silvestri's going to line up as the running back. Fitchburg's going to go for it here. 4 wide for the Raiders. Silvestri in the backfield. Bolak has trouble with the snap, loses it. Now rolls to his right, throws, passes, caught. That's going to be a first down if he hangs on to the football. Doharian Wells with the catch. So Fitchburg goes for it on 4th down, and they get it. Second 4th down conversion of the game for the Red Raiders. This time the much more conventional variety, although again, the ball hits the turf.
That's been one of the things that they've got to work on shoring up a little bit, maybe cold hands.
Dan, if I had a nickel for every time a Fitchburg player dropped a snap and then completed a 4th down conversion pass in this game, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but still, it's weird that it happened twice. 1st and 10 Raiders on the 38-yard line. This time it's Wells on the carry. Good blocking. He turns the corner and is tripped up just as he was about to get a big gainer. Jaden Mello reached out and tripped him up. Still a gain of about 8 yards for Doharian Wells.
Gets to the 30-yard line. Well done on the reverse.
Raider offense has to be mindful of the clock. We duck under 90 seconds to play. Again, Fitchburg has no timeouts. Shepherd Hill has 2. Bolak trying to draw the Rams offside. They're not biting. 75 seconds. Clock's ticking, Luke. Got to do something here. He'll take the shotgun snap. Looks to his left. Plenty of time. Now rolls to his right. He throws. That pass is incomplete. There were 4 gold helmets and only 1 gray. Ball hit the pigskin. Stopped the clock with 1:01 to play here in quarter number 2.
That took a hard ricochet off of wherever it hit. You say it was one of the Rams' helmets?
I know there were gold helmets in there. I don't know if it hit one of them. See, he rolled out to his right. I think he was trying to find Medina.
He was.
But really good coverage by Joshua Harrison. We've called his name plenty of times tonight.
He's been a factor on both sides of the ball tonight, but definitely more so, I think, on the defensive side and how well he's played as defensive back.
3rd and 2 for the Raiders. Bolak rolls to his right. He throws, passes nearly intercepted, and it falls incomplete. I think that was Ethan Berry who got his hands on it. We'll take a look at it again.
I thought he had a good chance of getting to the 28 for the first down if he'd ran for it. I think he would have gotten there. But he goes for the pass there, and it gets tipped by the Rams, and it brings up a 4th and 2.
Fitchburg just converted 4th and 7, so you got to think they're going to go for it on 4th and 2. And it is Bolak and the offense staying on the field. Again, Fitchburg no timeouts, so if they get this first down, they've got to hurry up to the line. Bolak takes the shotgun snap. Plenty of yardage to his right, but he will throw. Pass is caught by Medina at the 23. He gets across the 15, and he's out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. Stop the clock, move the chains. That's a first down for Fitchburg.
They keep passing to Medina. That time they found Medina open for the first down.
Pretty much the exact same play they just ran. Bolak ran to his right. Again, he had the yardage in front of him, but he wanted to throw. This time Medina was open. Bolak delivered a strike. Now we get a timeout. I believe that was called by the officials on the field. Maybe a Ram player had a little bit of trouble getting up. But it gives the Raiders a little bit more time to think without the clock moving. 51 1/10 left on the scoreboard here at historic Crocker Field. It's a beautiful scoreboard. Whatever local access station paid for it should be very proud of themselves.
Raiders find themselves in this game, by my book, 1 for 5 on third down tonight, but 4 for 4 on fourth down.
If you're going to be 1 for 5 on third, you might as well be 4 for 4 on fourth. That works. First and 10, Fitchburg from the Shepherd Hill 14-yard line. Rams only have 2 on the line of scrimmage. They are selling out for coverage right now. Bolak rolls to his left this time. He pumps, he's going to keep it himself. He's across the 10 and he ducks out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. Not enough for a first down, but it's a good gain for Luke Bolak. Almost as importantly, it only took 7 seconds off the clock. Fitchburg still has plenty of time with which to work.
And remember that Luke Bolak is very good at scrambling, gets 6 yards on 8 yards, gets to the 6-yard line. And again, because he got out of bounds, it stops the clock.
If you're going to sell out that much for coverage, you got to have at least one guy spying the quarterback. Bolak gets himself another 6 yards. He's got a touchdown. 3 receivers and a tight end. Silvestri in the backfield. Bolak play fake. He'll keep it himself. He's got the first down, looking to get a second effort. He's pushed down, and they're going to call him down at the 1-yard line. So it's a first down with 36 seconds. Fitchburg hurries up to the line. They'll go shotgun again. Silvestri remains in the backfield. Bolak hands it to him this time. Johnny L. Silvestri is in. Touchdown, Red Raiders! Johnny L. Silvestri from a yard out. Fitchburg is an extra point away from tying this game up with less than half a minute to play in the first half.
Silvestri's been in the backfield a lot, but that was his first carry of the night. And if you're going to get your first carry of the night, might as well bring in the end zone.
They faked it to him on the play where Bolak got the first down. That time they hurry up and give it to him. Gagneur's extra point attempt is blocked. So Fitchburg will not tie the game up.
The score
20-19 in favor of Shepherd Hill.
It's been another one of those everything is happening games.
Everything is indeed happening. Let us hear once again from Mr. Touchdown. You know, he can run and kick and throw. That's true.
He can do it all.
That's right. Give him the ball, just look at him go. It's a little early in the season to call him the hero of the year, though, isn't it?
Well, that's how the line goes.
Well, yeah, but, you know, it's week 3. Is there really a hero of the year? We're not even out of September. He could be the hero of the month.
That last
There's
drive,
nothing that rhymes with month, though.
15 plays, 80 yards, 6 minutes, 14 seconds was that drive.
Pretty much a perfect possession for the Raider offense, save for the blocked extra point. Get into the end zone, keep the ball out of the Rams' hands. Now we'll see if Fitchburg wants to get a little tricky with the kickoff. Gagneur will take the short run up. He will pooch it. Not entirely sure if that was intentional. It's fallen on by Ethan Berry at about his own 43-yard line. Rams offense will theoretically have a chance to make something happen. 25 seconds and a couple of timeouts.
I think it's worth the gamble to try to see if you can get some distance downfield.
I mean, honestly, you know, Luke Hill, you know, he's only thrown it once. He did look all right. Rams will go with their big heavy set, though. Raiders having trouble getting guys on the field. And they jump. So that'll be 5 free yards before we do anything.
Before the snap, offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So it's got to be at least 3, maybe. How many offsides is that?
It's harder to count when you're looking at it that way, but it is 7 penalties.
1st and 5 for the Rams. Pitch comes to Welton, trying to make something happen. He's going to be driven backwards. 3 Raiders in on the hit. First one to get to him was Phillips. And Shepherd Hill is, well, they're going to take a timeout here. I was going to say they're not moving with any kind of hurry, but that was because they stopped the clock. Believe the Rams have 1 timeout remaining. Got to think, Dan, at some point, unless they're just going to run 3 pitches and hope one of them breaks, I think if they're going to go deep, this is the play to do it. Run that play fake again, maybe?
Yeah. That would be the time to do it. I'm just lost in thought for a moment because my program has decided for the first time tonight to act up.
Well, See there, Coach Greg Graham giving orders to his defense, stressing the importance of keeping your position. Don't bite too hard. Doesn't matter if they get 20 yards. It matters if they get 50. And I think the Rams are going to go shotgun just the 2nd time tonight. High snap almost over Hill's head. Quick pass to the near side is incomplete. He was trying to hit Lucas Welton on the bubble screen, but there was nobody there. That pass was very high and overthrown. Were 2 Raiders in the area, one of whom had his back to the play, or else he might have had a chance at a pick 6. But he was covering Welton and the ball sailed over his head. Still not a disaster for the Rams. They've got 14 seconds and a timeout. Chance to make something happen for Shepherd Hill before we go to the locker rooms. Hill back to pass. Pass over the middle is incomplete once again. Was trying to find Welton. This time the ball came up short. And that'll bring up 4th down. I think Jared Phillips might have gotten a hand on that one. Helped it fall short of Welton. Rams will keep the offense on the field. Raider defense could give their offense a free play with a stop. Welton gets the pitch on 4th down. He's got the 1st down, though. Into Raider territory, brought down at the 44-yard line. So they will stop the clock to move the chains, and Shepherd Hill will take their final timeout with 5.2 seconds left. Time for probably 1 deep heave. See what happens. You never know. Might get DPI, might break something. This is probably the longest final 30 seconds of a first half in the history of recorded football, but, I might be exaggerating somewhat.
Just a little bit. All right, got that all fixed now, so I can tell you where teams are stat-wise. 243 yards of offense for the Red Raiders, 202 yards of offense for Shepherd Hill.
It certainly has been an offense-heavy first half here from historic Crocker Field.
It's Welton who has the lead in rushing yards for the Rams. 9 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Joshua Harrison has 6 carries for 32 yards. 6 different Rams have carried the football. All of them are in double digits.
Time for one final play for Shepherd Hill. Luke Hill stands up. His pass to the near side is incomplete. There's a flag down, however.
And the clock stopped with 0.4 of a second, too.
So there was still going to be time for one more play. But I think even if it ran out on the field, we were going to have an untimed down.
During the play, pass interference, defense, 15 yards from the previous line of scrimmage. It will result in a 1st down.
So Shepherd Hill gets another 15 yards, get that much closer. Haven't really seen Luke Hill try to air it out too deep. Don't know how deep his arm strength goes. Gotta think he can get it at least close to the goal line from here. Shepherd Hill will get a shot at the end zone. Rolls to his left, throws, passes caught at the 10, but the Raider defense holds. He's not going to get into the end zone, is Andrew Martinez.
That's the half.
So it's a good gain for the stat line, but the Raider defense does their job. We will go to the locker rooms with the score 20-19 in favor of Shepherd Hill.
A very interesting, very intriguing first half of football here at historic Crocker Field. We've seen Shepherd Hill. It's been a while, I think, since we've seen a team try to come in with that kind of formation.
It's been some time. It's been very effective. 4 tight ends, two just a yard or two in the backfield, one guy lined up essentially as a fullback. Fitchburg's defense has not really had an answer for it. The only Shepherd Hill drives that didn't end in touchdowns were that one at the end of the half and the one that ended with a fumble.
And meanwhile, for Fitchburg, they've had a couple of long drives, but I think that pick 6, I think, which made it at the time 14-6. That's, I think, the most defining play in this game, maybe just for the fact that if not for that one mistake, Fitchburg could very well have the lead here.
I tell you, Dan, if it's not the pick 6, it's the 4th down conversion on the fake punt by Johnny L. Silvestri. That drive, I believe that drive did lead to the Raiders' 2nd touchdown of the game. Without that conversion, you're talking about giving Shepherd Hill the ball back. You still only have the one big play by Bolak for a touchdown. Fitchburg is in this game, and it's very winnable for the Red Raiders. They could reasonably be called lucky at this point to be within one, because they've had a bunch of 4th down conversions. They've had that turnover by Shepherd Hill that took away what was looking to be a touchdown drive. It's tough going for Fitchburg right now. They've got to find a way to stop that running game of the Rams, or it's going to be a very long rest of this game.
And then, of course, the penalties. 8 penalties for 50 yards. That pass interference gave Shepherd Hill a chance to get a Hail Mary. From the looks of it, Luke Hill doesn't have that much of an arm, which is the one positive. So when needing 29 yards for a touchdown, they only got 24. They were fortunate in that regard. But now it's just going to be a matter of, well, they've got to try to stop the Shepherd Hill running game, which has 182 yards on the ground. As I mentioned, 6 players have at least 10 rushing yards, with Welton leading it with 9 carries for 91 yards for the Red Raiders. Luke Bolak. A lot of this is the 85-yard touchdown run he had, but 6 carries for 123 yards is still pretty good for a first half for a quarterback.
It's a pretty good first half for a quarterback. It's a pretty good first half for anyone. It has been a very entertaining game to this point. Again, folks in Fitchburg, if you have the opportunity, come on down to historic Crocker Field for the 3rd quarter, but if you'd rather just stay on your couch, we absolutely understand that. Dan and I are going to take the halftime break with the players, but enjoy the Fitchburg High School Marching Band. We will be back with the 3rd quarter of action from historic Crocker Field. It's Fitchburg High School football on FATV.
Competition to take place next Saturday at North Middlesex, where they compete in the New England School Band Association tournament. Wishing them the best of both.
back here at historic Crocker Field on FATV. Fitchburg trails Shepherd Hill by a score of 20-19 at the half. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bolak. And Dan, Shepherd Hill's running game has been tremendous and dominant in the first half of action.
Averaging 6.7 yards a carry, 27 carries, 182 yards. It's been a very unconventional formation, running basically 4 tight ends and a running back, but they have made it work against this Red Raider D-line.
It's been very successful for Shepherd Hill, both with the running game and setting up play action. Shepherd Hill's quarterback does have a single touchdown pass. Luke Hill hit that on play action in the first half, and honestly, if it wasn't for a fumble, Shepherd Hill would probably have more points, although the Rams do have a pick 6 as well.
Yep, so Shepherd Hill's first drive ended when they fumbled the ball inside the Raider 15-yard line, but they scored touchdowns on their next 2 drives after they got a pick 6 in the middle of all of that to make it, at the time, 14-6. The Raiders were able to bounce back with a couple of touchdowns. A 10-play, 66-yard drive taking about 4.5 minutes to make it a 1-point game after the extra point, and then another long drive, 15 plays, 80 yards for 6 minutes. And the Raiders have been doing very well at converting on 4th down. They've not been afraid to go for it, and they found some success on 4th down.
Fitchburg's been very successful on 4th down. They've managed to scrape together 19 points. Their offense will get the ball to start the third period here from Crocker Field. But before we're underway with the second half, we want to thank our underwriters once again. FATV's remote productions are underwritten by Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance Clinton Hospital, North End Subaru, Unitil, Minuteman Press, and the Sentinel Enterprise. Once again, you see them on the screen there. We thank them very much for their support. Dan, I thank you for bearing with me because I gave you a format for this introduction and then I completely threw it out the window. How do you put up with me, honestly?
I'd rather have you here than not have you here.
Well, it's a good thing I'm going away for 3 weeks.
But in any case, it's going to be Shepherd Hill kicking off in this third quarter, as we've mentioned. And for Fitchburg, again, they've got 243 yards of offense. Shepherd Hill, 226 yards of offense. That's 469 yards of offense in this first half.
A couple of pretty nice performances by these offenses. Rams are ready to kick it off. We are underway here with the third quarter of action. This time it's a low bouncing kick. Tried a half squib, half offside thing. Fallen on at about the 41-yard line for the Red Raiders, which is where their offense will take over. We'll see Luke Bolak and the red and gray once again. Raiders will have it 1st and 10 at their own 41. Fitchburg's been rather unconventional with the ground game. It's been a lot of sweeps, a lot of end arounds, a lot of keepers by Bolak. Of course, the big 85-yard touchdown run, along with some other successful runs. This time they go from the I formation. Harvey Early is the tailback, and he will get the carry on 1st down. He gets some good blocking across the 45-yard line before being brought down at the 46. We'll call it a gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
A little more of a conventional run there on 1st down. They'll give them 4 yards. They'll put it right on the 45. Early, a senior tight end slash linebacker, 6'2", 200 pounds, making his way out to the left side. He had 2 carries for 10 yards, so it's about right on par for him.
He will stay in as the tailback here on 2nd and 6. 2 receivers, 1 tight end. It's the fullback getting the carry. Driven back, tried to spin it out. That was Jared Phillips with the ball carry. Not content to have wide receivers carry the ball, Jared Phillips is listed exclusively as a linebacker, and yet he gets a carry. High school football, everybody.
Again, these positions seem like they're very much suggestions. 3 yards for Phillips on 2nd down, brings up a 3rd and manageable.
It's a very generous spot. I thought maybe Phillips spun out of that and wound up losing everything he gained, but they give him forward progress all the way to the 48. Red Raiders need to get to the Ram 49 to move the chains. Still from the I, Early bounces out to his left, tries to escape a tackle. He is finally going to be met by a stampede of Rams. About the 45-yard line, he was gored down. It's a loss of a few, and the Raiders will send out the punt team.
They go with 3 conventional runs this time. It feels like at their most conventional, Shepherd Hill was pretty dialed in.
Diego Gutierrez Serrano was the first Ram to meet early. You see him there. Big nose tackle number 52. Now the Raider punt unit is on, although Johnny L. Silvestri does have a first down pass in this game. He will just kick it away here. End over end takes a tremendous roll for the Raiders inside the 10. It's going to die at about the 7-yard line. That is a great punt by Johnny L. Silvestri. Backs the Rams all the way up to their 7-yard line where it is downed. And now we'll see just how good this Ram offense is. They have to get 93 yards for another 6 points.
We've mentioned the wind has been blowing tonight, although it wasn't blowing so much on that last punt, but blowing from the left side of the field to the right. It is officially a 48-yard punt by Johnny L. Silvestri.
And it's all net. Rams offense comes out. This time they're stacked all the way up to the left side. And all 4 of their tight ends lined up on the left.
Defense, offside, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
There's another penalty against the Raiders, another 5 yards for Shepherd Hill. Luke Hill under center. And we get whistles and flags before the snap. And guess what, Dan?
Before the snap, offside, defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So what was that we were saying about Shepherd Hill being backed up deep in their own territory?
Well, I can tell you Shepherd Hill has got the first down by doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Just, stand out on the field, look vaguely like football players, wait for the other team to screw up.
Look vaguely like Luigi, get 10 yards.
Pitch comes to the near side. This is Welton, the ball carrier. He's across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Gain of about 8 or 9 yards for him. It's going to be pretty close to the line to gain, actually. And we'll call it 2nd and 1.
Put it right on the 26-yard line. If you like nice, even numbers for the senior running back, Lucas Weldon, that's 10 carries for 100 yards.
Oh, that's satisfying. I like that. I do enjoy that. Not as a Fitchburg fan who wants the defense to be good, but as a guy who likes easy math. 2nd down and 1 for the Rams. This time it's Harrison going to the right side. Turns the corner. He's across the 35 to the 40. Finally pushed out of bounds, and he leaps over the cordon at about the 46-yard line. Take a look at him, make sure he's okay. Joshua Harrison being tended to by his teammates.
Don't know if he runs track and field, but feels like he had to practice the high jump there for a moment, or at the very least the hurdles.
And to go over his bench, actually. He wound up trying to jump the bench and then go under the rope. Thankfully, he seems to be all right, although he is still on the sideline. 1st and 10 Rams at their own 44. Handoff comes to the near side. This is Welton again. And he's going to be brought down at the 50-yard line after a gain of about 6 yards. Feels like not too long ago, Shepherd Hill had 1st and 10 at their own 7. Now they're right at midfield. Offense is that good.
When they're rolling, they are rolling right now. And really, I think part of the impact is trying to occupy the line enough that they can get out to the flanks, out to the sides. And that's where they find a lot of room to run.
Still from that big set. This time Hill will play fake, look to throw, going deep. It's overthrown and incomplete. He was trying to find Welton. Closest man to it was Stephen Bate of the Red Raiders, but the pigskin flew beyond any of them. It'll be 3rd and 5.
We haven't seen the Rams go to the air too often. Hill now officially 2 for 5 for 44 yards. Had that touchdown throw in the first quarter. That was really the only pass he had until that last drive when they were just trying to get a lot of yards really quickly.
Good time to go for it. 2nd and medium at midfield. Now they have a manageable 3rd down, and they try to reverse direction. This is into the 2nd level. He might go in untouched. 15-10, finally dragged down, but touchdown! Jaden Mello, the 50-yard touchdown run, just barely getting over the goal line, but just barely is all he needed. 26-19 in favor of Shepherd Hill.
And with all of that misdirection, just getting out to the near side is what he needed to do. And he got out there, did not go in untouched, but he got exactly the yardage he needed and not 1 foot more.
Just barely getting across the line, but again, that's all they needed. Now Shepherd Hill leading by 5. They will go for 2, try to make it a touchdown and extra point. We get motion and whistles before the snap, and this time we're going to get a false start.
Before the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, retry.
That'll back the Rams up. We saw Fitchburg commit a false start on their fake extra point after their first touchdown. Now Shepherd Hill will try to go for 2. Actually, my apologies, that would make it a 9-point game. So again, a 2-possession game if Shepherd Hill converts the 2-point conversion here. This time they go with a modified version of that. They do have a deep tailback in Mello. But the handoff goes to Rowden. He tries to turn the corner, reach across the line. He got it. 2-point conversion is good. Shepherd Hill makes it a 2-possession game, 28-19 with 8:06 to play here in quarter number 3. This might be the weirdest way to get to 28 points, but you know, it's been a very weird football game.
It's been worthy of the weirdness.
I suppose 14 safeties would be weird.
That would be weirder. Everyone would want to save that for prosperity. That would be one of those break the internet games.
That would.
You know, a couple of scores around the region. You know that Leominster had a 14-0 lead on Neshoba at halftime, and St. Bernard's had no problem with South Hadley. Declared mercy on them at halftime. 42-0 they led at the half, and they ran the clock the rest of the way to take that victory.
St. Bernard's is good. Leominster, incidentally, is good. We have seen Leominster. We will see St. Bernard's. For that matter, we'll see Leominster again. But right now, we will see a kickoff. Shepherd Hill leading this game 28-19. Still plenty of time for the Red Raiders to stay in it. Their defense is going to need to find a way to stop that ground game at some point. This time they basically go for the onside kick. It's a bouncing ball fielded from a man on his knees. Good job there by Ali Coheal, sophomore tight end / linebacker. First time we've called his name tonight.
Cahill ended up grabbing that last kickoff by the Rams, and this time a lot more spectacular, but he came up with it.
I'll spot him at the Fitchburg 47, so the Red Raiders will have a pretty short field with which to work. Cousin Luke will lead the offense out. If that ever gets annoying, let me know. Now stop it, if it's annoying.
I don't find it annoying.
Good, because Nate Glennie just told me not to stop. So, first and 10 Raiders at their own 47-yard line. Bolek goes from the shotgun. He's got 4 wide receivers. Joshua Medina goes in motion, but the handoff goes to Harvey Early, looking for blocking to his left side. Doesn't get much. He's across the line of scrimmage. I think they'll give him about 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8 now for Fitchburg.
Based on what I'm seeing, the running up the middle or trying to run through the line is just not working right now. They're probably going to have to do like Shepherd Hill has been and get it to the flanks.
When Fitchburg has had success, it's either been Bolek keeping it himself or those, jet sweep type handoffs to receivers coming in motion. We saw Medina with a good one of those earlier. Might try to get it back to him. Now 2nd down, 4 wide once again for the Raiders. Medina comes in motion. They fake it to him, hand to Early. This time he spins out of tackles. He's into Ram territory. Brought down at about the 46. It's a better gain on 2nd than it was on 1st. A flag comes in well after the play. Imagine this will be a dead ball foul. Somebody said something or shoved somebody in a way that was not acceptable.
So it's either going to be a 1st down for the Raiders or 3rd and a lot.
After the run, personal foul on the offense, number 71, unnecessary roughness. 15 yards, third down.
That's not the number 71 on your roster is not the 71. Different 71.
Okay then. I won't sully the name of the 71 on my roster then.
Not a good time to get it.
It's a 15-yard penalty, backs the Raiders all the way up to their own 39-yard line. Call it now 3rd down and 18. Fitchburg needs the Shepherd Hill 43 after the dead ball personal foul. Bolak will set up once again with 4 wide receivers. Bate goes in motion to the far side, sets up on the left slot. Bolak rolling to his right, looking downfield, chucks it on the run, passes overthrown and intercepted. Picked off at the 33-yard line by Luke Miller. Shepherd Hill takes possession. Bolak was trying to find Medina. Instead, he finds a Ram for the 2nd time tonight.
It was a bit inaccurate. He looked and found the wrong number 3 downfield. It was well out of Medina's reach and ended up in the hands of Luke Miller. Ends up turning into an arm punt. Not the greatest arm punt in the world, but Shepherd Hill will have the ball at the 33.
1st and 10 Rams, officially spotted at the 32-yard line. Pitch coming to the near side for Welton. He's across the 40 before being brought down. They're going to give him the 1st down out to the Shepherd Hill 43-yard line. So Lucas Welton gets himself another 1st down. He's had a fantastic night, as have a good many of these Shepherd Hill ball carriers. Now, Dan, if you're Fitchburg's defense, you need to figure out how to stop these Rams now. It's already a 2-score game. If it gets up to 3, that might be it. Hill play fake, wants to throw under pressure, chucks it to the right side, pass is caught into Fitchburg territory and out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. There's a Shepherd Hill player down, however. It was the man who made the catch. That's Lucas Welton, who made the catch, and he is being tended to.
Welton on the reception.
Looks like it might be his left leg, but he is having a lot of trouble putting any weight on that. Lucas Welton's had a fantastic night, Dan. That would be a big loss for this Shepherd Hill offense.
He has been the most dynamic of the Rams tonight. And Shepherd Hill now 39 yards from goal. It's Welton's 1st reception of the night after he's run 12 carries, 110 yards, and a touchdown.
1st and 10 Shepherd Hill. This time they give the ball to the deep tailback. First time they've done that tonight. Believe that was Jaden Mello who got the carry. No, my apologies. It's Luke Miller. Gained about 3 yards. We'll call it 2nd and 7. First time tonight that Shepherd Hill's actually given it to the tailback. This time they have Harrison lined up as the deep man. 3 tight ends, 2 backs, and we get whistles and flags before the play.
Before the snap, onside, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Gwynn likes to gust when he wants to make penalty calls.
Well, it's had lots of opportunities to do it tonight. I mean, honestly, like, sometimes when there are a lot of flags, you can say that the officials are being ticky-tack and calling things just to call things. Offsides is a very obvious penalty. It's either there or it's not. Shepherd Hill carry on 1st down is a big gainer across the 25 to about the 21. That's Devin Rowden, the freshman. Officially spotted down at the 21-yard line. It's another big gain for the Rams. Came in motion from that tight end position, had plenty of blocking from the offensive line.
They didn't need that offside to get the 1st down with the 11-yard run.
This time they pitch it to the right side. This is Harrison. Bounces to the outside, pushed out of bounds inside the 15. I think they're going to mark him at about the 13-yard line. So this time they pitch it to that deep tailback. Great blocking by the tight ends, the offensive line. Brady Gelino with a good block. It's an 8-yard gain for the Rams as they are knocking on the door. Trying to maybe put this one out of Fitchburg's reach. Now Harrison again on second down. He's across the 10. That'll be a first down. Stop the clock, drop the chains at about the 8-yard line. It'll be first and goal, Shepherd Hill.
Just been a great job by the Shepherd Hill offensive line, but also setting up the way they have been. Just able to overpower the Raider D-line. And for that, they've gotten now over 300 rushing yards in this contest.
And the Raiders will take their first time out of the second half here with 4:16 to play in the third quarter. This formation, Dan, whether they have the deep tailback or not, it's just so hard as a defense because there are 3 or 4 different players, even if you discount the possibility of the play action pass, which you should not do, and Fitchburg has been burned on that before. But even if you're just looking at it from a standpoint of who's going to carry the ball, you've got the tight end on the left side who's lined up in the backfield. You've got the tight end on the right side who's lined up in the backfield. You've got the fullback who's directly behind the quarterback, basically. Sometimes you've got the tailback who's 8 yards in the backfield.
Just so many options that you've got to work with. And for Shepherd Hill, it's been hard to pick out who may get the ball at any given moment. As we mentioned, Lucas Weldon has 117 rushing yards. Jaden Mello has 70. Joshua Harrison has 63. Devin Rowden 21. Luke Miller 14. And Drew Aubin has 17. Mello and Weldon both have touchdowns.
And to that point, it's not just, oh, they're going to get it to this guy. You have to find where he's lined up. No, it could be any ball carrier from any position at any time. And the offensive line is doing a fantastic job. It's just everything's working for Shepherd Hill right now. First and goal from the 8. This time it's a fullback handoff straight up the middle, essentially a rugby maul. The entire offensive line will carry him in, but they will spot him down at the 1-yard line. Couldn't really tell who got the carry that time. I think it was Aubin. We'll take another look. It is indeed the fullback 21, Drew Aubin. He just gets into that pile. He's officially down at the 2-yard line. Now second and goal. They bring in a big back this time. Try to force it in that way. Officials say no go. I believe that was Talon McDonald's first carry of the game. Yes, indeed it was. Sophomore. See him there just try essentially the same play. This time there was nothing doing. Fitchburg's D-line got good penetration. They probably need 2 more of those. Third and goal for the Rams from the 1. McDonald still in as the fullback. This time Hill keeps it himself, and he dives across the line. He is in. Touchdown, Shepherd Hill. Luke Hill with the 1-yard QB keeper.
That was Hill's first carry of the night. 8th different Ram to carry the football, and he finds 6 points for his efforts.
There's another wrinkle we haven't seen.
All the options they've had, they've never once been a case where Hill has called his own number except to pull it out to try to pass.
Now Miller will attempt the extra point. That kick is blocked and falls no good. So with exactly 3 minutes to play here in quarter number 3, Shepherd Hill leads this one by 15. 34-19 is the score. 34-19 is not a score guy, is it?
No, I don't think so. That feels just a little too conventional because it's like a regular game but with just a couple missed conversions.
Yeah, that's true. But it's getting in that territory, right? It's, it's weird. 34-19 is a weird football score.
41-19 would be weirder. I don't want it to go to 41-19.
No. 34-22 would be.
34-25 or 34-26 would both be weird. 34-27 would be very normal.
No, that would be normal. Yeah, 34-27 is. That's, touchdowns and a bunch of field goals.
Shepherd Hill, that last drive, 9 plays, 68 yards, 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Fitchburg's actually had more possession. I think roughly, I say roughly because that's not adding up to the correct number.
Of course not.
Why would it ever, right?
Well, you set it up before you confirmed it, therefore it had to sabotage you.
Didn't include the last drive. So once I do one little thing, yep, 17:08 for Shepherd Hill, 15:52 for Fitchburg. It's been close.
This time it's a squib kick, bouncing around the 31-yard line, picked up running backwards by Doharian Wells. He reverses field. He's suddenly got blockers in front of him across the 45 into Ram territory. One man to beat and 3 blockers in front of him. Wells to the 20, another block, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Red Raiders!
There's a flag at the 40-yard line. A couple of flags. I do wonder if they might call the point.
During the return, we had a block in the back on the return team. 10 yards from the spot. It'll be first down, Fitchburg.
So
17.
This one comes back.
Wasn't able to keep some of it, just not all of it.
This looks like an absolute disaster at the onset. Dan Wells picks it up at the 30, reverses field to the 25, and then finally cuts upfield. Now there's a block in the back called somewhere around here. I don't think it's that one. It might be down at the bottom of your screen, Shea Gagnor at about the 35-yard line. I think they might have called that one. Yeah, it was indeed Gagnor. They assessed it from the 35, so it's a 10-yard penalty there. Still a great return for Wells. First and 10 Fitchburg at the 44-yard line. Josh Medina comes in motion to the near side. Bolak takes the shotgun snap. Play fake, keeps it himself, rolling to the right. Good blocking, he's into Ram territory. Spun down at the 32-yard line. That's a first down for Lucas Bolak.
I think he's got to run the ball more often.
There's an injured Raider, Stephen Bate, on the near side at about the 30-yard line. Went down grabbing his left arm. He was one of the lead blockers for Bolak on that run. Pretty much immediately after the play, see him here on the near sideline now, grabbing at that left wrist. Really not feeling any kind of comfort there. Very well-designed QB run. And there you see right at the top right corner of your screen, as soon as the play is over, Stephen Bate grabs at his left arm.
Think about that block in the back, too. The roughest thing about that one is that really did not have any effect on that play. Because that was a block on a guy who was never going to have a chance to catch Wells.
3 wides and a tight end, shotgun formation for the Red Raiders. Johnny L. Silvestri gets the carry, gets out of 1 tackle, turns the corner, gets up to about the 25-yard line. They'll mark him down there. It's a gain of 7, second down and 3. Raiders hurrying to the line. Under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Now they'll slow down the pace, take a breather, go to a huddle.
As you can see, he goes out to the flank that time, and then knowing that he's going to probably get tackled by the man there in Miller, he just lowers the boom. 90 seconds to go in the third quarter and a 15-point lead for Shepherd Hill.
Second down and 3 for Fitchburg. 4 wide receivers. This time Bolak rolls to his right, looking to throw. Chucks it for the end zone. One-on-one. Pass is caught. Was he in? Yes! Touchdown, Red Raiders. But there is a flag down back near the line of scrimmage. Doharian Wells may, for the second time in 5 minutes, have a touchdown taken away from him. Although the officials are asking Greg Graham what he wants to do.
During the play, ineligible man downfield on the offense. 5 yards, repeat second down.
Doharian Wells cannot catch a break. An ineligible receiver downfield. This play was very slow to develop. I think they might be getting the right guard there. I think they're going to call it on 71. He pushed his pass block a good 3 yards downfield. That is an ineligible man downfield. It takes the touchdown off the board. Instead, 2nd and 8, we get motion before the snap. The Raiders want a flag. They're not going to get it. There have been so many offsides against Fitchburg tonight. That time, Shepherd Hill might have gotten away with one. Bolak barking signals. Fakes, rolls to his right, throws over the middle, passes high and incomplete. A couple of Rams went diving after it, but no one was going to get close to it. It'll be 3rd down for Fitchburg.
In this contest, penalties are going to be what kills the Red Raiders. They've now committed 14 penalties in this game.
Take a look at the replay here. Looked like Shepherd Hill jumped well before Bolak made that snap. Officials didn't call it. Now it'll be 3rd and 8.
Raiders could also use a conversion here on 3rd down, 1 for 7 tonight.
They need the 22. Bolak rolls to his left, wants to throw, under pressure, spun down and sacked. Back at the 35-yard line. Big play for the Shepherd Hill defense. Devin Rowden was providing the pressure. Fitchburg faces 4th and about 12 from the Shepherd Hill 34-yard line. Let's take another look at that 2nd down and 3 play. Right there, the man jumps across the line and gets back. Danny, at high school, don't you blow that play dead? If he crosses the line, the play's dead right there, right?
Well, that one they got away with, and with Shepherd Hill, they've only called 4 penalties against Shepherd Hill tonight for 25 yards. Fitchburg 14 for 95.
Now, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not producing myself as a master of the high school rule book. In the NFL, if you jump across and nobody notices, you can get back. That's fine. But at the high school level, you jump across the line, play's dead.
I think, but again, FHS rulebook behind a paywall.
That's true. We've reached the end of quarter number 3 here from historic Crocker Field. Fitchburg faces 4th and long as they decide whether or not they're going to go for it, but they trail by 15 points. While we have a second, we will thank our fantastic crew. Our director tonight is Nate Glennie, Travis Falk doing the audio and graphics for us, Andrew Govin and Joe Tchaikovsky on camera. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast that it was Joe's first telecast, and I would say he's doing a darn fine job.
Indeed. So now, 4th down, 12 to go. Ball, and also our underwriters, Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance, Clinton Hospital, North End Subaru, Unitil, Minuteman Press, and the Sentinel and Enterprise. Thank you for all the support. Now we'll try to reset this. So again, 4th down, 12 to go. Medina came to the sideline. He's very angry. He's just spiked his helmet as Silvestri goes in the backfield, and Bolak will throw right side, and that one battled for and incomplete.
There were 2 different Raiders in the area. Couldn't tell if that was intended for Harvey Early or maybe Stephen Bate. Good to see Bate back out on the field after he left with what looked like a left arm injury earlier. But unfortunately, the 4th down conversion attempt fails. Shepherd Hill's offense will take over, leading by 15 points with a chance to put this one away.
One of the strange things I've realized, in the 3 games that the Raiders have played, they've yet to see their opposition's punter. And they're going to need to get a stop. 1st down, it's a pitch out onto the left side, going around the line and getting to the 39-yard line is Caden Murata. Another new rusher for the Rams.
First time we've called Murata's name tonight.
So that's 9 different Rams that have run the football. And for 316 yards on 40 carries tonight. 5 yards gained on 1st down. It's going to go to Murata again after a little bit of misdirection. He finds some room on the left side, past midfield. Another first down for Shepherd Hill. That's number 22.
We've mentioned the need for Fitchburg's defense to get a stand, but the deeper you go into this game, Dan, especially against a team that's running the ball down your throat, fatigue becomes a factor. It's so hard as a defense to stop the running game if they've had success with it early on.
Now with a lot of blockers to the right side, to the 45-yard line, it's Devin Rowden, the freshman. He's been so efficient tonight, going with all those blockers there, just enough to overpower the D-line and get a lot of yards tonight. 5 on first down. Rowden now 6 carries, 26 yards. Second down, Hill's gonna pull it out to try to pass, and he is sacked by Santiago.
He wanted to hit Andrew Martinez on the big gainer, but Antonio Santiago was right in his face. Take a look at it again here. Santiago comes on the blitz, beats his blocker. Coverage downfield was good enough. Now it's 3rd and 14. Fitchburg's defense has a chance to get that stop that they need so very badly.
8-yard sack on second down. 9.5 to go in the contest, 15-point lead for Shepherd Hill. I think that was 2 handoffs there, and Mello ends up with it, getting it to midfield and no farther.
It absolutely was, Dan. First time we've seen the Rams go to that level of trickery. They had Harrison lined up as the left backfield tight end. He took the pitch. You'll see it here. Harrison takes the pitch and then immediately hands to Jaden Mello, trying to reverse field on Fitchburg's defense, but the Red Raiders stand tall. It's only a gain of 2. It'll be 4th and 12 from midfield. We will see Shepherd Hill's punting unit, I think.
They're saying we're short some personnel. They have 9 players out there.
Yeah, that's a problem. They do have 3 timeouts, so I suspect this will not be a disaster, but we'll see.
Good news is Weldon is okay. He's back out on the field. So it is booted away by Harrison, a very good punt. Taken in by Joharian Wells at the 11-yard line. He runs to the far side of the field, cannot get the opening. 2 Rams are able to send him to the turf, Andrew Martinez and Lucas Welton.
Joharian Wells had 2 touchdowns taken away from him the last time Fitchburg had the ball. This time, nothing he could do with that punt return. Red Raiders have a long way to go, both on the field and the scoreboard. They trail by 15 points, and they are 86 yards from goal with just under 8.5 minutes to play.
8:23 to go in the contest. 34-19 Shepherd Hill. Raiders gonna need some big plays and fast. 3 receivers on the near side on first down. Johnny L. Silvestri will turn those receivers into blockers and get to the 21-yard line. Harrison with the tackle.
One of the better runs tonight, certainly from a conventional handoff standpoint for the Raiders. But it's only 7 yards and you're already back in a huddle. Time is precious, guys.
26 carries, 186 yards, the bulk of which coming on an 85-yard touchdown run by Luke Bolak back in the first quarter. 3 receivers to the far side now on second down as Bate moves in motion and Bolak says, no, don't go over to the near side. Back to where you were, over there. That's a better place. Second down, Bolak will throw out right side. Medina's going to make that catch. Run up for a first down yardage, wrapped up by 2-3 Rams at the 30-yard line.
Get it to Medina on the quick screen. Let the receivers out there do the blocking for him. It was a well-delivered ball by Bolak, and then it was all about the yards after catch. Good blocking downfield, by Bate and Early. Then Medina got bowled over by Rowden and Mello.
Bolak 5 for 14 tonight with 2 picks. Able to find that one for a first down. The passing game has not been where he's wanted to. The wind could be playing a factor there. Bad snap, but I think the penalty will bail him out.
It's going to be a 5-yard loss, but it could have been a lot worse.
Before the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Danny, how many penalties is that against the Raiders tonight?
That is number 15.
Is that a lot? That feels like a lot.
You had a nickel for every penalty. That's 3 quarters. That puts them to exactly 100 penalty yards.
That's also a lot.
That is 4 times as many as Shepherd Hill. Sitting at 4 for 25. Under 7 to go. And a 15-point lead for the Rams, looking for their 8th consecutive victory against the Red Raiders. Bolak tries to keep himself getting out of the grasp there is what he wanted to try to do. But wrapping up the leg was Kyle LeBlanc, the junior linebacker, able to prevent Bolak from advancing any farther.
I believe that's the first time we've called LeBlanc's name tonight. Did a good job hanging on to Bolak's ankle, not letting him get away. For a second, like it might be a pretty big gain for the Red Raider quarterback. But LeBlanc said no.
Bolak is the big rusher in this contest for 131 yards tonight. Lucas Welton, 12 for 117 for Shepherd Hill, the big rusher on their side. Raiders going a bit methodically, especially for the situation. Play action, Bolak with a bit of time, rolling to his right, looking for someone to get open. Nobody's gonna get open, it's a sack.
It's a sack and a fumble, and Shepherd Hill football.
A strip sack by Lucas Welton, and James Robson, the 5th, comes up with it.
Once again, Shepherd Hill sells out for coverage. They initially only rush 2 guys, everybody downfield. When they finally see that there's nobody in their zones and the quarterback's just dancing around with the ball, that's when they commit. Lucas Welton comes in, makes the hit, strips the football, and that should be all she wrote.
The Red Raiders have had their moments, but Shepherd Hill has executed so well tonight. Miller with the run on first down up the middle, gets to about the 11-yard line.
And now, Dan, if you're Shepherd Hill, you just sit on the ball. You got 5.5 minutes left. You got all the time in the world. Make Fitchburg burn their timeouts. This is obvious 4-down territory. If you get into the end zone, the game is over.
Miller again up the middle, found another hole to work with. He's inside the 10-yard line. That'll be a first down. He's down around the 5.
Fitchburg just has not had the answer, Dan. The offensive line of Shepherd Hill is too big, too dominant. There are too many options in the backfield. The Rams have been able to run the ball pretty much at will all night. The only times they've really been stopped is when they've stopped themselves.
Miller trying to complete the hat trick of runs, if you will. 6 on the first, 6 on the second. Couldn't get 6 that time. He's going to have to settle for half of that, 3. Down at the 2-yard line. So second down and goal to go. And Miller will not be stopped. He makes his way into the end zone. Touchdown Rams. If it wasn't over before, it is now. With 4:01 to go in the game, it's 40-19.
It's just so simple when it works. You know, it's really been one formation. You know, they've mixed it up a couple times, go with the tailback, go shotgun for a different look. But when it works, that Shepherd Hill running game is basically impossible to stop.
Kick is up and good by Miller. He'll take all 7 points on this drive. 41-19 to the Rams with 241 seconds left.
again, we've talked about it so much tonight, but it's, it's almost the concept, if you remember last season, the Falcons at Fitchburg State were running the flex bone. It's not terribly dissimilar from that. It's just the execution, the size on the offensive line, and even from such a simple formation, Dan, there are so many things that Shepherd Hill can do. You really have to give Dave Buchanan credit for the creative play calling, the mixing it up, spreading the ball around. It's one thing to have a formation where guys line up all over the place and could theoretically get the ball, but if you hand the ball to the same guy 25 times, the defense is going to snuff it out. I don't think there's a single Shepherd Hill player who has more than 15 carries tonight, is there?
The high is Welton. He's got 12 of the 48 carries.
It's just so hard as a defense to stop that. You don't need a quarterback who can chuck it downfield 30 times a game if you're handing it off 48 times. You just don't.
405 yards of offense for Shepherd Hill. Only once have the Raiders really been able to stop them. Let's see, besides the fumble, just only once have they forced them to punt. Short kick, bobbled for. Shepherd Hill might have this one as they go and try to jump on this football at the 37-yard line. It does end up in the hands of Johnny L. Silvestri. So the Raiders, some consolation, do get the ball as Silvestri tries to crawl off the field. Took a big impact there.
That time Silvestri tried to pick up the short squib kick on the roll, make a return out of it. See him not putting any weight at all on his right leg as he heads to the sideline. Hopefully that's just a cramp or something. Keep an eye on him, see if he gets back out on the field. Now for the Red Raider offense, it's all about, run your offense, build some momentum. You're not going to score 22 points in 4 minutes.
Now we know they are without their lead running back in Devani DeLeon tonight, but that surely has not helped matters. It's not that the offense hasn't been able to produce. It's that the defense has not been able to stop Shepherd Hill. That's been the bigger issue. Get a man on late there in Stephen Bate. There'll be 2 receivers on either side. Now they'll move Medina in motion on 1st and 10. Bolak rolling to the right, going to keep it himself and try to run for it. Eventually wrapped up by 2 Rams at the 44-yard line. A good run on 1st down.
Take another look at that kickoff return. Watch the right leg of Johnny L. Silvestri. Just kind of gets wrapped up. Don't see too much there. Hopefully just a cramp for him. He's still being tended to on the near sideline. And, I'm not a doctor, but that treatment is consistent with the way I see cramps treated. So hopefully just some cramping in the right calf.
2nd down, 3 to go. Again, 4 receivers, 2 on either side for the Red Raiders. It'll be a handoff to Harvey Early, trying to find his way up the middle. Again, especially in the second half, running up the middle does not work against the Shepherd Hill defense. It's only a 1 yard gained on 2nd down.
You can see it, Dan, just when the players are lined up next to each other. Shepherd Hill's D-line is so much bigger than Fitchburg's O-line. It's not just about size, obviously, but it's, it's technique, it's coaching, and at this point, it's just momentum and morale more than almost as much as anything else. Shepherd Hill is in a dominant position here. They know it. The Raiders know it. As much as you want to build some momentum and try to get some positivity out of your offense, you're down by 22 points. You've gotten your butts kicked tonight, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The offense has been successful in fits and starts. Fitchburg's had a number of 4th down conversions that kept them in this game, but it's been tough for the Raiders, and it's not going to get any easier. Next week they're taking on St. John's, and St. John's is, again, hot take, probably better than Shepherd Hill. Is that fair to say?
I think that's fair to say. By the way, final from Leominster was 27-0. The Blue Devils take down Neshoba.
Leominster's good.
Ever since Luke Bolak threw to Josh Medina in the first drive of the season for the Raiders, Leominster said, we don't like that. Let's never give up points again. It's early on 3rd down. Not going to get enough for the first.
4th and 1. I would be shocked if the Raiders don't go for it here.
Might as well at this juncture. And also, I don't know, Silvestri is the punter. I don't know how good he's feeling right now.
Have not seen him come back out on the field.
Raiders know the game is probably lost, not trying to rush up to the line or anything, just taking their time. They just need 1 yard to keep this drive alive. Everyone trying to mobilize. Bolak looking to go under center out of the I formation, keeping himself. He will have the first down. He's going to try to break away and get some more yardage. Hugged in, wrapped up by the Rams on their side of the 45-yard line.
Not too often you get 10 yards on a quarterback sneak, but that's what just happened.
Number 8 on the tackle. Moving the ball to the 45-yard line. First down, 10.
Gets it just inside the 45 of the Rams. Raider offense taking their time there, you know. They're aware of the clock, but they also have a couple timeouts, and again, they're not going to score 22 points, so no need to hurry.
Just try to see if they can finish the game on a positive note. Bit of a high snap. Bolak's able to pull it down quickly, roll right side. The pass is incomplete for Bate as it goes in and out of his hands.
I think the high snap kind of threw off the timing of everything there. Bolak went play action because that was the play call, but he by the time he went with the play action, there was nobody there, and you see Bate coming off the field again favoring that left arm. Saw him injure that earlier in the contest. This time he is very carefully holding that as he heads to the sideline.
In terms of offense in this contest, the two teams have now combined for exactly 700 yards.
That's a lot of yards.
It's a lot of yards for a 48-minute high school football game.
How many penalty yards have there been, though?
125. That's not included in the count.
That's also a lot for a 48-minute high school football game.
It is. 100 against Fitchburg, 25 against Shepherd Hill. Have they taken a penalty in this second half?
They should have.
Bolak throws to Harrion Wells. Makes the catch at the 20.
Wells on the catch.
Or the 30. Check that.
That's a first down.
That time Wells had to adjust at the last minute, go full extension to make this catch. Take a look at it again. See, he plants his feet and pulls back. That pass was almost behind him, but Wells did a good job adjusting to the poorly thrown ball, made the catch. Gives the Red Raiders another first down at the Ram 30.
Bolak 6 for 16, 71 yards, touchdown and 2 picks. Johnny L. Silvestri had that 43-yard catch and run, the throw to DeHarrion Wells. No, Malachi Marion. Thinking back to earlier in this contest, Bolak scrambling a little bit, going to set his feet and throw. And that one, is that going to be intercepted? No. Ball lands. It was caught there by Mello, but he was out of bounds.
It was very good coverage downfield by Jaden Mello. Pass was a bit underthrown. I don't know if anybody got a hand on it. We'll take a look at it again. See, Bolak steps up. He's under pressure. Nope, just a bit of a spiraling pass. Mello dives, and he actually, does the left elbow count as 2 feet?
I think my guess is they thought the right elbow may have gone down first, but maybe it was the left elbow that touched first.
That's very close, but is 41-19, and it's in favor of the team that's, would have made that pick. So I don't think anybody's going to be too mad about that.
Looking at the gap, power rating is going to be a 14-point or more win for Shepherd Hill no matter how this ends, as Bolak scrambles a lot and will run for it. At the 20-yard line, shakes out of a couple more tackles, reaches across to the 15-yard line.
Saw Bolak signal with his left hand to his receiver, tried to tell him, go deeper, get open in the end zone. That opened up the territory in front of him. Bolak was able to take it and run with it, pick up a first down. Raiders will take timeout. They'd rather score a touchdown than not, all things considered.
There are going to be some teams who probably would just, run some plays and then run the clock down. But in this case, Fitchburg really does want to score to finish this game at least. As we mentioned from the metagame perspective, the power ratings, even if Fitchburg gets the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, it brings the deficit to 14, which is still the maximum for the power ratings. So it's not for that. I think it's just trying to finish this game with pride and their heads held high.
Yeah, and from the offensive standpoint, this has not been a bad game for Fitchburg. We saw a bad game for Fitchburg from the first game here at Crocker Field that lost to Leominster. That was a bad game. The Fitchburg offense, although it hasn't been tremendously consistent, especially when you consider, Dan, that they are playing shorthanded, without Devani DeLeon, and for the rest of this drive, they've been without Stephen Bate, without Johnny L. Silvestri. The offense has been getting it done for the most part. You'd like to see a little bit more of that. Obviously, the Raiders want to get one more touchdown here in the dying seconds.
That's what they're trying to do. They have one timeout and 17.3 seconds to work with. Trailing by 22 points, just trying to get one more score on the board. Prevent themselves from being shut out here in this second half. Early in the backfield, Bolak stepping back, ready to throw. He wants to throw. He's not going to have the opportunity to throw. Now he finally does against his body, and intercepted by Mello to put it away. And Mello's going to see if he can try to run it back all the way. And he's got a good run back going past midfield to the 40. Only Harvey Early can catch him. Harvey Early will catch him inside the 15-yard line, and that brings an end to this contest.
Bolak was under so much pressure. You could see he cocked that pass 2-3 times, trying to find somebody open in the end zone. Finally, he goes to the left side, and he finds, unfortunately for him, Jaden Mello. A tremendous job, by the way, by Harvey Early, Dan. You can't say enough about the effort he showed on that play. The game's lost. The game's literally over. It's the last play of the game, and he still goes full speed. He still tracks down Jaden Mello and stops him from getting into the end zone. Early should be commended for the work he did, I feel, on that tackle.
No question, and one of the positives I know I've read from other people's perspectives of last week's game against Wachusett is, for as lost as that game seemed early on, the Raiders never gave in, and they played hard all 48 minutes, and you can't fault them for not playing hard all 48 minutes. In the end, Shepherd Hill's offense was just too strong for the Raiders to stop, and that's a bit concerning as we look down the schedule, especially with St. John's coming up next week.
Defense certainly a question mark for the Raiders. Again, they take on St. John's next week. Our next Raider telecast here on FATV will be Friday, October the 7th, as the Raiders are devoured by the Panthers of Marlborough. They'll be back on the 14th to host Westboro in the final home game of the season. But, of course, our next telecast on FATV, Dan, it's a little bit sooner than that.
It will be. In fact, we'll start the coverage in really less than 15 hours, if you will. It's going to be Fitchburg State looking for their first MASCAC victory of the season, as they'll try to take on the rough and tumble defense of the Buccaneers of the Massachusetts Maritime Academy, playing their conference opener in 2022. Should be an interesting one. Noontime start. I'll have the coverage from Elliott Field's not historic.
There has been history at Elliott Field. Elliott Field is not historic. I think that's fair to say.
Fastest 4 goals in a Division III soccer game. That's history.
There you go. You look at the upcoming schedule for Shepherd Hill. We talked about it a little bit, but again, next week, September 30th, they will take on Leominster. That looks like it should be a fun game. Shepherd Hill's running offense against Leominster's just tremendous offense.
And then looking ahead after that, Algonquin and Wachusett coming up after that. So they're going to have, and then Shrewsbury. They've got a very, very tough schedule.
That's a very tough schedule for the Rams. This was their only D3 game of the season, this win over Fitchburg. The rest of it, it's all D2s until a couple of D4s. But, there might be some playoffs in there. Who knows?
Yeah, the thing is, with the D3s, the list of Division III football teams in Central Mass, it's Fitchburg, Shepherd Hill, and Westboro. You have saw tonight 2/3 of the Division III teams in Central Mass playing tonight.
We want to thank one more time our underwriters. FATV's remote productions are underwritten by Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance, Clinton Hospital, North End Subaru, Unitil, Minuteman Press, and the Sentinel and Enterprise. Thanks again to them. We also want to thank our fantastic crew, our director tonight, Nate Glennie, Travis Falk running the audio, graphics, and presumably the replays. I don't think Nate was doing those himself, but he might have been. Our camera operators tonight, Andrew Govin and Joe Tchaikovsky. Thank you so much to them. Dan, I was Ed Reynolds on replay. There you go. Dan, your final thoughts here from historic Crocker Field.
The Raiders finished with 325 yards of offense. They weren't doing a terrible job in getting the balls downfield. It was just a matter of, in the end, 405 yards of offense for Shepherd Hill, 343 on the ground. You're not going to win a whole lot of football games doing that, and then 15 penalties for 100 yards. I think that block in the back ended up being the most painful of them all.
Yeah, the block in the back that negated the touchdown by Zoharian Wells, or for that matter, the ineligible man downfield that negated the touchdown by Zoharian Wells. He had 2 opportunities on that drive, couldn't get a touchdown on any of them. Fitchburg wound up with no points, and then from then on, Shepherd Hill's offense just could not be stopped. They kept expanding the lead. Fitchburg couldn't score again. 41-19, the final score for the final time here from Crocker Field. For Dan Bolek, I'm John Gugerty saying thank you so much for watching, folks. We will see you, well, Dan will see you next time right here on FATV.